4th down and 6. Old Bridge gotta have it. Shotgun formation. Nugent, a lot of time. Rolls out. He's running out of space. Will roll the other way. They look, corner of the end zone. Touchdown!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead. And the Profs will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Andrews will be in shotgun. He takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He'll throw it down the left sideline. He's got a wide open receiver. He's got the touchdown.
Motion man is Simmons. Trotman throwing towards Simmons down the field, and he makes the catch in traffic for a Bearcats touchdown.
Back to pass, middle of the field. The catch is made by Britt. She's off to the races at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Britt is in for the score.
Back on in. Here's Yoxie. Yoxie to the backhand. Trying to go to the front. Makes the move and shot. And he scores!
And Gracie comes set and delivers. And that's it on the ground to second. Throw to first in time, and the ball game is over. South Shore survives a late scare, and they are the 2024 New York State Little League Baseball champions. Live from the Boulevard of the Eagles in Edison, New Jersey, the PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you into coverage of Old Bridge Knights high school football. Tonight, the Knights are on the road for the second time in as many weeks to open the 2025 season as they take on the Eagles of Edison High School. Good evening, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman alongside Nicholas Bavona, and tonight, Old Bridge looks to make it a 2-0 start on the road here in Edison. And Nick, this Knights team has a lot to be excited about after week one. Their defense, phenomenal once again, as we saw for much of last season. And offensively, senior quarterback Brody Nugent continued to make the big plays that we saw from him all year in 2024. More of that tonight, and you have to feel really good about where you are through the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, and this Old Bridge team, Joe, of course, is trying to play the road warrior type of mentality so far throughout the first 2 weeks of the season. They come in here tonight, as you mentioned, their second straight road game of the season. And after a very impressive performance in week one, can they duplicate that here tonight in Edison for a 2-0 start against a team that they've had some recent success against in the last couple of years?
And as you said, Nick, standing in the way of a 2-0 start for Old Bridge is an Edison team that comes in looking for their first win of the season. Last time we saw these two teams face off, it was last season in Old Bridge, and the Knights took the win in that game 35-13. Historically, Old Bridge has been dominant against Edison, but looking specifically at the most recent meeting last year, what stood out to you in the Knights' win?
Well, as you saw in that game last year between the two teams, Old Bridge jumped out to an early 21-0 lead in that game. And Edison had some chances in the first half to count the deficit, but a couple 4th down missed conversions, and they allowed Old Bridge to get some good field positioning, take advantage, and get those touchdowns for that 21-0 lead. The biggest story of that game, of course, for Joe, for the offense, for the Old Bridge Knights, is Brody Nugent and what he did. 7 of 15, 185 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, including 101 rushing yards and another rushing touchdown as well.
Really impressive outing for Nugent, one of many in the games we've covered here on the PDF Sports Network. A bit later, we'll take a look at some of the highlights from that meeting last season between these two teams. But before we do, let's take a look at what this Edison team did last season.
Yeah, you see on your screen right here, this Edison team right now is playing in the Big Central Conference. That's the National Silver Division. In 2024, they were 1-3 in their division, 5-5 overall. They did, however, lose in their first-round matchup in a 42-7 loss. That was when they were the 7th seed in that tournament. So this is a playoff team from last year, Joe. Off to an already 0-1 start, trying to avoid an 0-2 start. You and I know, of utmost importance, a team starting 0-2 can really damper their opportunity to make it back to the postseason. It can really put them in a bad mindset throughout the rest of the year.
And finally, let's shift our focus back to the National Gold Division. There you see it on your screen, some scores that Old Bridge will have their eye on coming up this weekend. One game already in the books, and currently, or I should say at the very least entering the weekend, there were 3 1-0 teams in the division, and all 3 winners did pick up decisive victories in their games last week. There you see one result on the board already, and what's to come the rest of the weekend.
And it's really important now, Joe, for this Old Bridge team as they make their way out onto the field, that You start 2-0, you put yourself in a good driver's seat throughout the rest of the division to be at the top of the division with a 2-0 record. But this Edison team, of course, Joe, trying to play spoiler here tonight, not only improve their record to 1-1, but send this Old Bridge team to a 1-1 record as well.
And we are approaching kickoff here in Edison, but with that, we will take a break for a message from our sponsors. When we come back, Nick and I take a look at some highlights from last year's matchup between the Eagles and Knights in Old Bridge. Our pregame coverage continues when we return here on the PDF Sports Network.
Celebrating 65 years, the Old Bridge Rebels Youth Organization is the longest-running and most successful youth organization, serving Old Bridge Township. The Rebels are the premier football and cheer organization with a long and rich history in coaching and developing our community's future leaders. Through proper guidance and leadership, the Rebels program assists the youth in developing the qualities of safe play, discipline, teamwork, fundamentals, and well-being. We will continue to focus on these goals while maintaining a strong presence in the community. Check us out at swsrebels.org.
This football season, stop by Market Boy Liquors, your hometown destination for over 20 years. Family-owned and operated, our 8,000-square-foot store features the largest beer cooler in the area, plus an unbeatable selection of wine, spirits, cigars, and craft beer. Conveniently located at 1132 Englishtown Road, Old Bridge, New Jersey, 08857, Market Boy Liquors is proud to serve our community with the best variety and friendly service. Call us today at 732-251-4616 and make Market Boy your game day headquarters.
When it comes to buying and selling a home, do it with Peter Hunt's Home Team, powered by Century 21. For years, Peter has dedicated his life to the real estate industry, offering help and care to all of his clients. With experience and proven results, Peter is an award-winning realtor and the top producer for Century 21 Action Plus. A resident of Old Bridge, put Peter to work at selling your home or finding the home of your dreams. Call 1-800-299-2129 or reach Peter directly at 9086-014-934.
For raising the standard in facility services and commercial cleaning look to Pritchard Industries. For over 35 years, our commitment to creating clean, healthy, and safe environments is unwavering, ensuring that your facility not only looks pristine, but also promotes well-being and productivity so your business can excel. Specializing in comprehensive commercial cleaning solutions, advanced facility services, responsible sustainable practices, and innovative technology, contact us now at PritchardIndustries.com. Pritchard Industries, here for you.
Since 2003, Elite Sports Physical Therapy of Morganville has developed customized care and physical therapy programs for thousands of athletes through evaluation and setting athletic goals. Whether a torn ACL, dislocated shoulder, or concussion is keeping you on the sidelines, our highly trained physical therapists can help you recover and return to the field or court in better shape than ever before. Come see what we are all about. Visit us at EliteSPT.com or call us today to book a consultation.
At Bagel Boy Bagel Shop in Old Bridge, we're more than just bagels. Come visit us at 2329 County Road 516 where we bake our bagels and bread fresh daily, have the freshest fruit and veggie platters, and an assortment of sandwiches and plates that are sure to satisfy. Bagel Boy is a proud sponsor of all things Old Bridge. Go Knights and go to Bagel Boy. 2329 County Road 516 and at bagelboyonline.com.
And we are back from Edison High School just in time for opening kickoff between the Knights and the Eagles here on the PDF Sports Network as we are underway from Edison, New Jersey. And that kick travels to the goal line. It's fielded on one hop right at the one. And Old Bridge rallies to make the tackle as Edison is going to get started deep in their own territory. Roman Byer was forced to field that on the goal line and then took it out to about the 12 or 13-yard line. And, Nick, for you and I, we have a bit of a low perspective tonight. We're calling the game from down in row one. That's a first for us.
It certainly is. And we do want to point out, if our camera does go out, we have been dealing with some issues so far in the pregame. Hopefully those issues get fixed as this game goes on. But as you mentioned, Joe, great kick to start off this game for Old Bridge. It took a bounce, stayed in bounds, did not go into the end zone for the touchback. And now it's good field position for this defense.
Well, Nick, you and I are going to have our work cut out for us tonight. We have the sideline to contend with, and the Eagles will get started deep in their own territory. First down, Edison from their own 10-yard line. Ryan Toth, starting quarterback for the Eagles. Two men in the backfield alongside him here. And he will fake the handoff, looking left, trying to set up a screen. He does. It's complete. And Liner Whetstone still going. He's across the 35-40, 45-50, 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, 10, 5, touchdown.
89 yards.
Wow, what a start.
And, you know, Joe, we were going to try and mention this in the pregame. We had a little bit of a quick start before our show here tonight. One of the keys I was going to break in this game was seeing if this Edison team was going to bring out some trick plays. They just brought out a trick play right there. Play action. You're thinking it's going to be a run because they're inside of the 10-yard line, pretty much near the 10-yard line, and they go all the way 89 yards for the score. How about this start? If you're Edison, they're up 6-0 early.
We're going to try and fix our video feed issue on the fly here, Nick, so keep an eye on our engineering station. Following this extra point, we're going to try and get another cable in here and see if that corrects our visual problem. I think the issue right now, Nick, is that Pat is at the top of the bleachers. We are wireless tonight. Normally we are wired. Edison will look to kick the extra point here, and that sails wide to the left. No good. Some pressure off the edge from the Knights as well, and the score will stay 6-0.
And now if you're Old Bridge, Joe, you're in this spot where you're already trailing 6-0. We're definitely not expecting the way this game started with that play action play. So now we'll have to see how this Knights offense can respond. A tough scenario already, obviously being in a road environment, not easy whatsoever, but now trailing by 6. How can this offense bounce back after that touchdown given up?
Well, I think if you're the Knights, a defense that we've seen is not shy about being aggressive. They got aggressive with Edison backed up in their own territory, and they got caught in that situation on a first down screen pass. I don't think that's something you can expect to see work against the Knights again in this game, given the result of that play. I think if that play goes for 15, 20 yards, perhaps you're able to slip in another screen later. But I think now this Old Bridge defense will be on high alert for a play like that the rest of the way. And Edison is going to have to find some other ways to manufacture offense. That being said, a great play call to start it for the Eagles. And breaking away in the second level was Whetstone. And that was an impressive run after the catch as well. It wasn't just the play call. Toth did a good job to get that ball out under some pressure as well. But that's executed about as well as you can ask for. If you're Edison, they have to be thrilled with that start. You can't do any better.
Keep in mind, they only had 84 yards passing as a team just last week. And their loss to Piscataway, they get 89 on the opening play of this game right here. It's a short kick right there. Going to be returned and almost near midfield, just around it looks to be the 40-yard line is where Old Bridge is going to pick up this opening possession.
Well, after scoring to open the game, it looked like Edison went a bit conservative there on that kick because they did not want to allow for a return, I would assume, Nick, with a kick like that. I doubt you onside kick. I don't think that was the intention either.
Yeah.
Though, admittedly, from our perspective, a bit tough to see exactly how that ball was bouncing. I do believe we've solved our visual issue, so that should be fine the rest of the way. Brody Nugent lines up in the shotgun for Old Bridge. His team trailing by 6 early, and he will hand off on first down. That will go for a short gain. Nugent Griffin gets the first carry of the game for the Knights. And officially, they'll give him 2 on the play.
Griffin Nugent.
I said Brody?
No, you said the last name first.
I said Nugent Griffin?
You said Nugent Griffin.
Did I?
Yes.
Wow. I did call the game last week, and it is Griffin Nugent who got the bulk of the carries in that game. Nugent will look to throw here. He's in trouble. Rolling to his left now, running out of time, throws downfield. And I think that is a completion on the sideline. No, they rule it incomplete.
I was going to say, Joe, it didn't look like he got his feet in bounds. We have our best perspective from it right here from where we're positioned. And great attempt right there. And you have to give Nugent credit. He kept scrambling. It looks like we have an injury on the field for the Knights. He kept scrambling. He found Cameron Alvin at the last second.
So, Nick, there are some names cut off on the roster. That's Cam Olivencia.
Cam Olivencia, okay, correct.
Some names are cut off on the roster.
So Olivencia, of course, who we saw last year, and we'll get to that highlight package a little bit later on in the game. But he found him on the sideline, almost got the completion on that sideline, but Olivencia just couldn't get his feet in bounds. It was really tight throw on that sideline to get the incompletion. And just like that, now after this injury timeout, it's going to be 3rd and 9 coming up for the Knights.
And Olivencia is a player who's been dealing with some nagging injuries, and now he's down after just a couple of offensive snaps. And Nick, getting a look at that play from as close as we are right on top of the sideline. I thought maybe he got that left foot down. Keep in mind, you need just one.
Yeah.
You need just one. I thought maybe he got that left foot down. Certainly the right foot came down out of bounds.
You have to keep in mind, he was also heavily covered on the play, so not an easy play to try to make that catch. And credit to the Edison defense, despite the fact that Nugent had enough time to scramble out and make a play, they kept it incomplete and now force a 3rd and long.
Old Bridge already trailing by 6, faced with a 3rd and 9. Nugent once again lines up in the shotgun. And he will look to throw. Clean pocket, throws the quick pass outside, complete up the sideline for a first down and more. That pass complete. He finds the returning Chase Rizzo back in the lineup, immediately makes an impact. First down, Knights.
And how big is that for the Knights, Joe? It looked like they were about to go 3 and out in this game, and they get a quick, big play right there for the first down.
First down, Old Bridge on the Edison side of the 50. Ball at the Eagles' 41-yard line. Nugent once again in the shotgun, flanked by Rizzo as he takes a look toward his sideline. And we've seen this plenty from Old Bridge. To the line quickly, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to snap it quickly. Nugent throws the quick pass complete over the middle. And 4 Eagles in to make the tackle. They strip the football. And it is recovered by Edison. Amari Allsbrook made the catch on the short quick throw. Turned upfield, was met by 4 Eagles, and the football came out, recovered by Edison.
That's a backbreaker right there, Joe. You'll see in just a second. Allsbrook kept himself up, but then the ball comes out, and sometimes you see that on plays like that where you're trying to get some extra yardage and try to, get a little bit more for your team, maybe get the first down. Not there right there for this Knights team. A fumble, and just like that, Edison's got the football after a 1-play touchdown their last drive.
That's a really tough start for Old Bridge. They give up the touchdown on the game's first offensive snap and then quickly turn the ball over on their first play in Eagles territory. Once again, 2 backs in the backfield for Edison. A pistol look here, and it's a handoff. Whetstone behind left about 4 or 5 yards. Second down coming up. Valinati with the tackle on that play. That will bring up a 2nd and 6.
And remember how this game went last year too, Joe. This Edison team did a pretty good job running the football against Old Bridge. So I thought maybe that was going to be a key to this game tonight for them. They go to the run there after that touchdown drive, but that shows you that Old Bridge was looking for a run on that first drive of the game.
Handoff once again on 2nd down. Whetstone bounces it outside. Foot race to the sideline, and the Knights win that one. That's going to be a loss of all 4 yards they picked up on first down. That will bring up 3rd and 10.
And now you're Old Bridge, of course. There's another timeout on the field, another injury, this time for Edison. But I think if you're Old Bridge now, Joe, obviously after the fumble, you want to come back, get a nice stop, quick 3 and out, get your offense right back out onto the field, and hopefully you can get a touchdown this time to try to tie this game and potentially take the lead.
Well, we have an injured Eagle down on the field at the moment, as they will wind the clock, and the injured player was helped off. Really tough to make out a player who was down on the turf, Nick. We just don't have a line of sight through the bench.
Yeah, I want to say it was Deion Davis-Jones. I thought I saw him go to the sideline, but I'm not 100% sure. I do see him on the sideline now.
That will bring up a 3rd down and 10. 8:40 to go in this first quarter.
Could be interesting to see what Edison draws up here on 3rd and long.
Shotgun set. Rolling to his right is Toth. Running out of time. Airing it out. Downfield. Double coverage broken up. Getting up to swat that one away was Xavier Diaz. And that will bring up 4th and 10.
Yeah, it looked like just for a second that one was going to be completed again, Joe. Nice job by Toth. He got out of the pocket, found his receiver down the field, but as you saw, Diaz just getting a hand on this play at the very last second to avoid it.
Really good coverage by the Knights. 2 defenders in the area. That's a really, really tough completion. And
the punt does not go the way.
Does not get away, and a huge hit. Wow, huge hit there. As that ball looked like it was muffed. We'll have to run that back, Nick, and see exactly what happened. But he did not get that punt off. Looked like a low snap. We lost it behind a mass of bodies along the sideline. Here's a look at it on replay, and it was just a low snap. It was bobbled and no chance for him after that ball arrived low. And a golden opportunity here for the Knights now. Once again, they have it, this time a bit deeper in Edison territory. 8:15 to go in the opening quarter.
Pretty much hovering around the goal, or the red zone, here at the 25-yard line. So this is a good chance here for Old Bridge after the first possession fumble. They can try a tie or take the lead on this possession right here.
Nugent once again will line up in the shotgun, joined in the backfield by Rizzo. 2 receivers to the right of the formation, 1 receiver wide left. Nugent will hand off on first down. Rizzo stood up at the line of scrimmage and set down there. No gain on the play.
Well, we saw last year with these two teams, Joe, it was pretty much Nugent taking advantage, as I mentioned earlier on, had the 185 yards passing and the 101 yards rushing. And we saw last week he had another good performance as well in their win over Cedar Creek. So that was a game in which he only needed to throw 41 passing yards. He did all of his work pretty much on the ground. So you see this Edison defense, they are ready to expect the run at any point in this game. They've done a good job so far in this first quarter.
Nugent once again in the shotgun with 3 receivers on the field. This time Rizzo lined up to his left. Nugent. All right, Joe Foreman and Nicholas Pavona back from Edison High School. We had to drop our stream resolution to hopefully keep our live stream steady. But hopefully we can stay with you the rest of the way. Internet definitely problematic here in Edison. It always is. We cover the Jersey Sharks here as well. We will have a copy of the entire game regardless of our internet status when the game is over. As Toth, off the play fake, avoids the rush, steps forward, throws downfield, incomplete. Tight coverage there over the middle.
And, Joe, I don't know if you saw on the sideline, he had an open wide receiver down the other field. He had Sean Garland wide open, it looked like, but just didn't see him as that pressure was there from Old Bridge. It's now 3rd down.
Here's one more look at it. Let's see if we have a view of that sideline that you were talking about, Nick. Yeah, we do. There he is.
Yep.
He had him. Good eye. 3rd and 9 coming up, and a chance for the Knights defense to get off the field very quickly for the second consecutive drive. 3 and out forced on the last Eagles possession. The Old Bridge special teams unit coming up with the tackle on Toth as he looked to punt. Bit of a low snap helping them in that effort. 3rd and 9, and early movement in the slot. Flag comes out.
See what that's called on. It looked like initially it was going to be on Old Bridge on a neutral zone.
It
That's
is.
The case.
I thought there was early movement, so a 3rd and 9 becomes 3rd and 4.
It looked like I saw movement around the defensive tackle area, but I wasn't certain if you saw something, as you mentioned, in the slot, where maybe a receiver went off for a second. But now it's 3rd and 4. And if you get them sleeping again, Joe, you can get a first down under the penalty.
Big spot here for both teams. If you're the Eagles and you can keep this drive alive, that could go a long way, because if you have to punt, very easily the Knights could secure good field position once again as another flag comes out.
Edison once again saying it's on Old Bridge. And it is, Joe. It's another neutral zone. 2 straight neutral zones leads to a first down.
Well, that's a killer if you're Old Bridge.
So they got him on the hard count twice in a row. They needed 9 yards, and they get 10 of them on neutral zone infractions. So a first down upcoming here.
First down, Edison in the shotgun. Toth, hands off. Not much running room there, but that will go for a couple of yards on first, maybe just 1.
Looks like it got maybe 2 yards on that play, and didn't look like initially they were going to get 2 yards. That Old Bridge defense was right there and clogged up the lane, but they do get 2 to make it 2nd and 8.
2nd and 10 now for the Eagles. Just over 6 minutes to go in what has been a pretty slow-moving first quarter. A big play for the Eagles got us started. A special teams miscue gave the ball to Old Bridge deep in Edison territory. The Knights capitalized, and they now lead at 7-6. Motion man pre-snap is Roma. Handoff once again behind left guard, and once again not much running room. And that will bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, it looked like you got nothing on that play. Once again, it's going to be 3rd and medium upcoming here for Edison.
So Old Bridge with another chance here on 3rd. The Eagles did not have to run a play on their last 3rd down. 2 pre-snap penalties and an automatic first down via the 2 neutral zone infractions.
2 men in the backfield here.
Toth will throw the screen. There is some room, but not enough to pick. And there are flags out late.
Yep. Tend to think that's probably going to be offsetting penalties for unsportsmanlike conduct. Saw a lot of that last night in the NFL, too.
It was quite the game to open the NFL season last night.
Minus the lightning delay, but yeah.
Minus the lightning delay. 2nd year in a row. Remember last year they had a weather delay? It was
that
Bills.
Also an opening night?
It was Bills and Ravens, I believe. Opening night last. We were at Staten Island Ferry Hawks,
but what
CSI night.
The Super Bowl champ play the opening night?
It's a good point. I thought that was the first game, though. Why did I think that was the first game?
I know there was one with the
Oh,
Steelers.
it was the Ravens and the Chiefs.
Right.
It was not the Ravens and the Bills. The Ravens and the Bills play this Sunday night?
This Sunday night, yeah.
Last year was the Ravens and the Chiefs on opening night.
I was going to say, I remember our Steelers-Cowboys game last year ended in there was a lightning delay that was very lengthy.
So as you said, Nick, offsetting personal fouls will bring up 4th down.
And it looks like a timeout is called by, it's going to be Old Bridge.
First time out of the game called by either team.
And I think it's another one where you look at the down markets, Joe, it's 4th and about 5. So you're trying to avoid not getting another offset or neutral zone infraction, because then it might lead to a first down, could lead to 4th and inches where, of course, Edison would definitely think about going for it on 4th and short. So I think that's probably the reason why they called the timeout. It also could have been potentially that they had too many men on the field.
Well, with our first timeout of this game, we want to thank one of Old Bridge's proud sponsors, the Candied Ham football team. A proud sponsor of Old Bridge Knights football. You can check out Candied Ham over on Instagram at CandiedHam_official. Again, be sure to check them out over on Instagram. Candied Ham football, a proud sponsor of Old Bridge Knights football. Now, I believe Candied Ham is a softball team. I believe they are a softball team. I read the graphic incorrectly, Nick.
Okay.
They're a proud sponsor of Old Bridge football, but they are a softball team.
Another low snap.
Shame on me.
Joe.
And that could have been big-time trouble.
But a good bounce goes Edison's way. Looks like the 29, 30-yard line.
Given the situation, Nick, that's not too bad of an outcome, Old Bridge starting at the 30. You had a 3rd and 9 from much deeper in your own territory, were afforded 10 free yards via penalty, and then beyond that, they picked up a couple, but not much. And Old Bridge will take over.
See what this Edison defense could do now against Nugent and company after that quick touchdown drive the last time out.
Brody Nugent in the shotgun. And he will take off to run, looking for some space. Bounces outside, still on his feet, and is finally brought down. But a nice run by Nugent, who looked to have nothing on that play. He was able to turn what looked like a potential loss into a gain of 7.
Yeah, Nugent, we've seen it how many times over this past year where he just makes plays with his legs where it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get extra yardage, and he does right there. He looked like maybe at best he was going to get 1 yard. He got an extra 5 to make it 2nd and about 4.
Nugent once again in the gun. Low snap, and Nugent dives on top of it.
We've seen a couple low snaps so far between both teams.
Behind the line, 3rd and 9. 31-yard.
Just like that now, a 2nd and about medium now turns into a 3rd and long.
So this time it is the Edison defense with a chance to get off the field here on a 3rd and 9. And it seems like throughout this first quarter, Nick, these two teams have just been trading 3rd and longs. We had the big play by Edison to get us started and the big play by Nugent to find Allsbrook. He'll look to throw again here. Steps up through the pocket. Pressure surrounds him. He heaves it downfield, and it's broken up by Whetstone. He just couldn't get enough on it. He was looking for Jordan Mercado.
Yeah, it looked like he had it for a second, but as you mentioned, just not enough on the pass. And Whetstone almost had himself a diving interception. He's already made one highlight reel play so far tonight. Almost had a second one right there. It's now 4th down for the Knights.
There's one more look at it ahead of this punt, and we know better. We can't miss any punts because we've seen some adventurous special teams plays already in this game. Knights looking toward their sideline here. It is a 4th and 9. We have seen it where Nugent will be the case here. I believe that's Tomas Santos, number 85. Really tough to tell from where we are, Nick. And that punt.
It's a high punt.
Is a high punt, and it will bounce straight up into the air, and the Knights will touch it. So Santos sends that across midfield. It landed at the Edison 45, and I believe it was touched down by Old Bridge around the 46, 47-yard line. So it's good starting field position for Edison.
Yeah, and if you're Edison, you definitely want to take advantage of that good field positioning. We've already seen the Knights do it so far in this game. And now for Edison right here, 4 yards away. We're getting to midfield and a chance to get into Old Bridge territory and try to tie this game, or to take the lead. And I think right now, Joe, I see Toth on the sideline, so I think we're going to have a little bit of a quarterback change here upcoming. He might have gotten hit very hard on that punt. So yeah,
he got lit up on the punt.
Yeah, he lost his helmet on the play.
Yeah, and they might have him sidelined with a head injury, but that's as far as we'll speculate. Trying to get a look at who it is under center now. It's a high snap, and keeping it and looking to run is the new quarterback, Kevin Wirtz, and Wirtz could not find any running room.
Well, Wirtz did play last week, too, in that game against Piscataway. He was 4 of 5 for 31 yards, so he has already played so far this season. Obviously, coming into a scenario where it looks like we'll have to see the severity of the injury for Toth. But
assuming it is an injury.
Yeah,
we don't know for sure.
It is. But now he comes into a spot. You're down by 1, an early loss on first down. That makes it 2nd and long here with about 2 minutes to go in this first quarter.
Wirtz ended up losing about 7 on that carry. Had nowhere to go. Second down handoff goes nowhere.
Looks like they lost another yard or 2.
Best case, he got back to the line, but it looks like they did indeed lose a yard. Officially, they have it as a 3rd and 17, but they lost a yard, Nick. It's 3rd and 18.
Okay. I'm sticking to my gut.
That's right. Can't budge on the down and distance,
No.
though. Our perspective is not good.
No. Too many yards to count from where we're positioned at right now.
We have 1:12 to go in the opening quarter. It has been a very lengthy first quarter.
3 wide on the right side of Wirtz.
And he's rolling that way. Pressure coming from behind. He throws incomplete. Looked like Whetstone had some room there, but that ball landed well beyond his reach.
And Joe Wirtz took a shot, too.
I was about to say he took a big hit.
Yeah, he got up slowly after that play.
Let's get a look at the back end of it.
He was trying to get Whetstone, as you mentioned, and as he threw the ball, took a big shot towards the end, so hopefully he is okay.
Going to have to cut away abruptly here, but we'll get a look at that hit very quickly. Or perhaps not.
Caught a little bit of it.
Just a bit. That's a much better snap ahead of that punt. Kick lands just shy of the 40, but it takes an Edison bounce. And we'll see where they mark it.
Looks like around the 38-yard line.
So Toth was into punt. That would lead me to believe he's good to go, and that they were just putting Wirtz in as a change of pace. Under a minute to go now in the first quarter, just shy of 51 seconds.
These defenses have been on the field a bunch so far here in this first quarter. You mentioned it, very lengthy first. And we've seen some memorable moments already so far in this game. A first play touchdown. We saw the bad snap on the punt leading to Old Bridge getting good field positioning and scoring 2 plays later. Let's see if they can extend this 1-point lead they currently have.
Nugent handed that one off to Rizzo. It looked like he had the option to carry it himself as well, and no room for either Rizzo or Nugent, as that will go for a loss of about 2 yards on first down. 2nd and 12 coming up.
You have to commend so far, Joe, in this game, winning the battle in the trenches and making sure that Old Bridge doesn't have any room to run. Another good stop right there. Makes it 2nd and long with just about under 20 seconds to go. See if Old Bridge does get a snap up before this quarter ends.
I think they did have to run one more play as Nugent will look to throw. He swings it out to Rizzo, and it's off his hands with a lot of running room in front of him.
Yeah, that's one Rizzo's going to want to have back. Already has a first down reception in this game. Certainly had a chance to get another one right there. And now it's 3rd and long with about 7 seconds to go. So this will be the last play, it looks like, of the first quarter.
3rd down, 3rd and 11 with 7 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
7.4 on the clock here in the opening quarter, and when this quarter comes to an end, we are going to throw it to a quick break and make sure that we get the messages from the remainder of our sponsors out to our audience at home.
Chance of defense here from this Edison crowd.
3rd and 11. Trips to the left of Nugent. Empty shotgun set. He's flushed out to his left. Now looks to break right. Buys himself some more time. Looking upfield. Throws off the hands of Allsbrook. Incomplete. And that would have been good for first down yardage had he secured it.
And once again, Joe, it's Nugent trying to create a play right there by continuing to scramble. And I thought for a second maybe when he turned to the right side of the field, or at least from our perspective, the right side of the field, that he was going to maybe take it himself and just run. But he found Allsbrook at the last second, had a good look, and that would have been a first down if caught, but just went off of his hands, almost intercepted on the tip, and that ends the first quarter. It's 7-6 Knights.
And we will step aside very quickly here at the end of quarter number 1 for a message from our sponsors. When we come back, it's 7-6 Old Bridge at the start of quarter number 2.
Protect your family, pets, and your wallet with Anchor Pest Control. We provide coverage for all your pest removal needs, and our all-inclusive service saves you money. We've designed our services to be both comprehensive and budget-friendly for homeowners. Plus, with our premium service, you'll get a free mosquito application. See how Anchor stacks up against the competition. Visit us, anchorpestcontrol.net, or call 888-623-2847 for information and service.
And we are back from Edison High School. The Knights set to punt yet again here as they will send this one across midfield into Edison territory. It does take an Old Bridge roll, and it's finally touched down around the 35.
I was going to say 32-yard line, it looks like, right there coming here. As you mentioned, a good bounce for Old Bridge. And we'll see now how this Edison team does offensively. The last couple of drives have really stalled after a great start to this game, that opening play. They really haven't.
Neither team has gained plays. And outside of that, there hasn't been much movement. These two defenses have had a very nice first half. It is still Wurtson at quarterback here. And he will throw complete of about 12 or 13 yards on first down. And just like that, the Eagles are within a few yards of midfield.
And once again, it was Sean Garland on the back end of the reception. Got a nice play action once again, Joe. We saw them get the touchdown earlier with the play action play. They start off the second quarter with the play action once again. Good move right there by Garland. He just gets enough for the first down.
Edison with it. And they will hand off on first. It's Whetstone with a nice burst. He's out across midfield. And is tackled at the Old Bridge 48.
So you got about 7 yards in that play.
Whetstone with a good. Second and 4 now for Edison. They gave him 6. We're a bit more generous, I think, Nick.
I always like to tend to the players.
Oh, they changed it. 2nd and 3 now.
I was right all along.
Yes, you were.
That's why I'm the best.
Backs in the backfield with Wirtz. And he will hand off to Whetstone again. Whetstone breaks one tackle and picks up a first down.
You got to be impressed with Whetstone's ability to run the ball in this game, Joe. It looked like once again he was going to be brought down in the backfield, broke a couple tackles, made a couple juke moves, and gets enough for a first down. And I mentioned it last year. Old Bridge struggled last year against this Edison's running game. So early on, they've been up and down. It's kind of been a 50-50 game so far in terms of rush defense right now for Old Bridge. But right there was a good job by Edison and get the first down.
And they will hand off again. Big hole on the right side and another nice carry on first down. And all of a sudden, Nick, this Edison running game is beginning to gain that offensive traction that these two teams have been lacking thus far.
And you have to commend as well not only the running back Whetstone, but of course this offensive line right now for this Edison team. They are doing a great job up front and getting him some open field. It looks like another 7 yards on that play.
2nd and 3 once again for the Eagles as they've marched into Old Bridge territory, ball at the Knights' 39-yard line. Once again, a pistol look for this Eagles offense. And the snap gets through Wirtz. It's scooped up. No! It's off the hands of the back Dudley. And it will be Knights football.
It looked like there was a miscommunication on the Eagles side. And you'll see it right here, Joe, on the replay. I am not sure if there was a miss-snap or something. Obviously, it was a miss-snap.
I thought Dudley had it, hit it right off his fingertips.
But you can even see Wirtz look towards the sideline as if maybe they were trying to get the right play call. And I think because of that, that's why they weren't prepared for the play. So a weird sequence right there. It awards Old Bridge another opportunity with good field positioning here, up by a point.
It appeared that Wirtz was unaware that the ball was snapped. He didn't make a move into the offensive backfield to go for it, but I thought it hit him.
I think what happened is, we see Nugent on Old Bridge usually do this where he'll look towards the sideline and get the play call. It kind of looked like that's what happened. I think maybe they were also expecting neutral zone. That's probably why they were like
incomplete.
See a lot more passing so far in this game for Old Bridge here in this first half. And I figured that was going to be a little bit of their game plan tonight because after running the ball at such an efficient rate last week and for the majority, of course, last season as well, have to try to implement that passing game too. And they've done it a bunch so far, but couldn't get that completion right there, and it's now 2nd down.
2nd down, handoff goes to Chase Rizzo, and he has running room as he's spun down. Thought maybe he'd break out of that tackle, and it's a big gain of about 15 yards on 2nd and 10.
And how about that burst of speed that Rizzo had as we have an injured Eagle on the field. So timeout is called. As soon as Rizzo got the ball on the handoff, he went straight up the middle of the field, got to the outside, and as you mentioned, got 15 yards to get that first down. After the injury timeout, we'll see if this Old Bridge offense can continue this drive. They're now at the 33-yard line.
And while we have an injury timeout, we are going to continue with a message from more of our sponsors here on the PDF Sports Network. And when we come back, the second quarter continues between Old Bridge and Edison. And we are back from Edison High School. It is Old Bridge football, 1st and 10 at the Eagles' 33-yard line. And after Edison had a chance with it, marching down the field, Old Bridge now, following a big run by Chase Rizzo, has it with a chance to add to their lead as Nugent will keep it off the fake handoff. And that's a nice run, gain of about 7 on 1st down.
A nice design play right there by Old Bridge, Joe. You saw it, the fake jet sweep on the outside. Nugent kept it himself, kind of getting the read of what the defense was going to do on the play. And he gets a nice gain of 6 to make it 2nd and 4.
Old Bridge to the line with plenty of time on the play clock here. 2nd down and 4. It's a pistol set. Nugent with Rizzo behind him in the backfield. He hands off to Rizzo, who breaks a tackle. Rizzo to the outside, working toward the sideline. Up the field and in for the touchdown. No flags on the field. Chase Rizzo with an explosive run on second down, and just like that, the Old Bridge lead is extended to 7.
Well, Joe, we were talking about how good this Edison rush defense was so far in this game. Rizzo's last 2 runs have been explosive, to say the least. You see it right here upcoming on the replay. As soon as he gets the ball, he cuts it inside, goes out into the out, and he had all day no chance to get tackled from behind. He's into the end zone for a touchdown, give his team a 7-point lead.
What a welcome addition back to this Knights lineup. Chase Rizzo making an impact early. He has a touchdown with 7:41 to go in the first half. The extra point on its way, up and good. No doubt about it, off the foot of Michael Ferretto. And Old Bridge goes in front by 8. Our score now 14-6.
And once again, Joe, they took advantage of a turnover on that play. Obviously, earlier on, the mishandled snap on the punt. That gave them good field position there, that being Old Bridge. And then the mishandled snap once again, this time on the offensive side, leading to a fumble, leading to a good field position once again for the Knights, and leading to another touchdown to put them up 8.
So Old Bridge responding well after Edison struck for a touchdown on the game's first offensive snap. Since then, Old Bridge has scored 14 unanswered. Both defenses up until that last Old Bridge possession had been playing really well. And it was really going to be a matter of which defense would break first. In a 7-6 game, it is Edison that allows the 3rd touchdown of this first half. Old Bridge in front by 8, and they will send it away here. Keep in mind as well, Old Bridge does receive the second half kickoff. Ferretto's kickoff toward the goal line, and this time it skips into the end zone, and he puts that ball in a really tricky spot.
We saw that on the opening kickoff. Almost got another one right there.
When you're put in a position as a return man where you have to decide whether or not to play the kick, that's a really difficult position to be in, because before you know it, those gunners are coming after you, and the kick coverage gets there quickly. And when your back is to them, if you have to play that football on the goal line, that could spell big trouble, and very often it means very poor field position.
Well, how big is it, Joe, now for this Edison team? Now you're down 8. Still a one-possession game, but they could really use a good offensive drive right here after their last drive, which was looking good, and a turnover.
It is a first down run here, and looking for room on the outside was Garland. Couldn't find any. And we've seen a lot of different players carry the ball for Edison in this game, Nick. And do we have potentially our 3rd quarterback of the game? Was that Garland under center there on that play? Because now Toth is coming back out.
I couldn't see. Maybe they had a Wildcat type formation
I
on that play.
I think he took that direct snap.
Yeah.
Our perspective from the sideline makes it tough to see into the offensive backfield with a read on the numbers. We can see who's back there in terms of personnel, but not the number on the uniform. Toth back in there, so it appears he was not injured. They just went with a change of pace for a couple of possessions. He will hand off here on 2nd and 6, and Whetstone could not find any running room. He lost a couple, maybe even 3.
Back to the original first down marker, and now it's 3rd and 9.
2nd and 6 to 3rd and 9. And Nick, we said it before, these two teams back and forth have been trading 3rd and long, 3rd and long, 3rd and long. And it's been the offenses that have been able to make plays. In some cases, the defense affording first downs via penalty. But most of the time so far in this game, defenses have found their way off the field in this spot.
Be curious to see what they draw up here. Have to think this one, they're trying to get it to Garland on the outside, if anything, here on 3rd and long.
6 minutes to go in the half. Swing pass. Whetstone looking to cut up field, but he has nowhere to go.
Looked like he got maybe
no
back.
gain.
Yeah, it looked like maybe he got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe got a yard, if anything. But this Old Bridge defense has really buckled down, Joe, after giving up the first play touchdown. They have been on point, and of course that forced a couple turnovers, and now a quick 3 and out here will get him the football right back.
We know how good this defense is. Once again, the punting unit out for Edison. Good snap, and that kick was nearly blocked. But it was a great kick. But room for a return here. And Jason Benford still going and forced out. Ran out of room along that sideline, but like you said, Nick, it looked promising with some blockers in front of him. First down, Knights.
And once again, Joe, another common theme of this game so far is that the Knights are going to have good field position once again. Looks like they knocked him out around, I want to say, the 39-yard line. Maybe the 34, actually. 34.
First down, Old Bridge, once again in great field position, ball at the 33-yard line, and all of a sudden, if you're the Eagles, there's going to be a lot of pressure on you defensively and perhaps a sense of urgency early in this game. If you don't come up with a stop here and surrender a touchdown, you could be staring at a 3-score deficit early in the third quarter. Nugent looking to throw, airs it out up the left sideline. One-on-one coverage, incomplete. It was dropped. Michael Chiarella had a chance, and he had a distinct size advantage. Good coverage there on that play by Braden Greer. He was right with him, but that's the 5'7" Greer working against a 6'4" wide receiver on that play.
And you'll see Chiarella got the inside leverage. He got a nice move, had a chance, and it looked like he should have caught that. And he knows that he'll definitely want that one back. Another drop, unfortunately, for this Old Bridge offense, and it's second down.
He had a great chance there. Under 5 minutes to go in the half now. Nugent keeps off the fake handoff to Rizzo. He's still on his feet and finally goes down, and a flag comes out late. And Nick, it's not often you see a quarterback who is so incredibly difficult to tackle when he meets you head-to-head. We've seen elusive quarterbacks who make rushers miss and can make men miss in the open field, but Nugent powers through contact more often than probably any other quarterback I've seen at this level.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to the NFL level in terms of Josh Allen, as the penalty was against the Knights. It's kind of where, Allen we see on Sundays where he lowers his shoulder, he's not afraid to take a hit, and Nugent has kind of a similar stance where he's trying to break tackles, get a couple stiff arms as well along the way, and he's been doing that a bunch so far this last season and so far a quarter of this season. But that latest penalty will negate any of the yards he just got. It'll now be second and long.
Second and 13 for the Knights now following the penalty. Ball at the 37-yard line of Edison. Nugent in the shotgun, sends Allsbrook in motion, fakes the handoff, pitches it back. That's a lateral. It's a fumble, and it is recovered by the Eagles. That was certainly a backwards pass, Nick. We'll get one more look.
They went with the triple option play right there, Joe. They had him in motion on the jet sweep. They kept Rizzo in the backfield with him on the pitch, and the ball just hits Rizzo on the hands. It looks like maybe caught him on the shoulder pad. And
it was close, Nick.
Yeah.
It was close because Nugent kind of.
They just ruled it an incomplete pass.
Let's slow it down. In real time, I thought for sure it was a backwards pass.
Edison silent, and of course the faithful behind us, Joe, are not happy with the decision. Those option plays are tough.
I think it's a backwards pass.
Yeah.
I think it was much closer than I thought in real time, but I still think it was a backwards pass. That should have been a fumble.
Yeah, once Rizzo takes a step backwards, you saw it for a split second. Once he took that step backwards, that makes him a quote-unquote, pitch towards the backside where that's a lateral. And I agree. I think that should have been called a fumble. I think the call on the field was the correct field, and then they changed it to incomplete.
Yeah, I think that's a backwards pass, but a break for the Knights here. 3rd and 14. Nugent in trouble again. Flushed out left. Rolling toward the sideline. Throws. Nearly picked. He threw that one straight into the breadbasket of Kobe Morsiglio.
Yeah, there was just nowhere realistically it looked like on that play, Joe, for a completion for Nugent. And now, on 4th and long at the 37, doesn't seem to be that they're going to go for it. I don't see Nugent on the field right now at the moment. He does come on the field now late. It could be, we'll have to see if they go for it, Joe. It could be one of those pooch punts from the quarterback we usually see sometimes, where maybe he'll try to get it inside the 10, maybe inside the 5, if anything. But curious to see if the Knights do indeed call that here on 4th and long.
I think Nugent will have the option. 4th and 14. Nugent looks toward his sideline, and keep in mind, just because he does not kick it right away, that doesn't mean he will not kick it. We've seen it plenty. Nugent with it, looking to throw, airs it out, and it's dropped. Huge opportunity there for Chase Rizzo. It hit him right in the hands, and that incompletion will turn it back over to Edison on downs.
Well, Joe, I hate to say it, but sometimes they say balls don't lie. Unfortunately for Old Bridge right there, it looked like they should have had a turnover earlier in the drive, and right there had Rizzo wide open. But it looked like, did he stumble as well for a second? No, the throw was just a little bit low.
He did kind of slip, but I think that probably was in an effort to get down to the football. It didn't look like he went down cleanly, though.
Yeah.
That could be why he dropped it. What do you think about going for it there, Nick?
I was kind of surprised they did.
I was very surprised.
I thought maybe they were just going to pooch punt it and get it inside the 10.
They didn't even show punt. They straight ran 4 verticals down the field and threw it up.
Got it.
Toth. Looked like he may have been setting up another screen. That pass low and complete. 2nd and 10. 4:06 to go in this first half. This very well could be the last offensive possession for the Eagles. How important is it to keep this score right where it is? Do you think that the way much of this half has gone now, since that first play, they have enough in the tank offensively to overcome a 2-score deficit if they fall behind by 2 scores?
I think what we've seen from these two teams, they've had the opportunities, but they've had them unfortunately slip away. A couple drops on the side of Old Bridge, a couple fumbles on the side of Edison. So these offenses have gotten yards plenty, but they haven't been able to capitalize so far in this game.
And there's a big run on 2nd and 10, and a good open field tackle as well.
Yeah.
It was Dudley on the carry.
That was Noah Rios on the tackle. He saved a first down and maybe even more on that play.
That's a really big tackle by Noah Rios, because if he doesn't get him, I'm not sure any of his teammates will.
Once again, good cuts on the outside. And as we mentioned, if Rios doesn't make that tackle, you have to wonder how much further they would have gotten on that play.
That's a great block up the field as well by the wideout. Really tough to get a number via replay. I think that might have been Garland who was on the outside blocking, but
he's been very active in this first half.
Yeah, really tough for us to make out the numbers through the Edison sideline. And they'll hand off again to Dudley, and he is stood up at the line of scrimmage and driven back. Big play by the Knights defense will bring up 4th. And I would be inclined to say the Eagles probably go for this, Nick.
Timeout was called on the field, and they gave him a first down.
Really? Were the sticks not in the right place, Nick? Because I didn't see any way he got it.
I didn't think he did either.
Well, based on the sticks, he didn't. I don't know if the sticks are in the right place. We need to see that again. I didn't think it was close, Nick.
I thought maybe a yard or 2 behind.
Oh, Nick.
Where did he get the first?
I don't think that was close. I think he gained a yard. I don't think he got a first down. Wow. So the Knights catch a break on the last drive, and I think the Eagles caught a break there as there's a big hit on Whetstone to end that carry. And I think at the very least, picking up that first down might prevent Old Bridge from getting the ball back. Now Edison can afford to take some clock with them, even if they don't score.
And I think that's right now the goal, right? If you're Edison, you don't want to give Old Bridge the ball before the half ends, because as you mentioned earlier on, they get the ball to start the second half. So it's huge right now for Edison if they can make this the final drive of this first half right here. About to hit the 2-minute warning. Technically, it isn't the 2-minute warning.
Well, we learned the hard way in year one during the 2024 season. There is no 2-minute warning in high school.
There's a flag, though.
There is.
That will stop the clock. And it's a false start.
In our defense, Nick, we have a lot of roles when it comes to this broadcast. You and I are splitting the engineering duties. We also have another game tomorrow. I actually have 2 games tomorrow and a game on Sunday. But the point I was going to make is that we cover a lot of different football, be it high school, semi-pro, arena.
Soccer.
Well, international football, yes.
Technically.
We do cover international football as well. That would be soccer. Only here in the United States. And our European friends, be it over voice or every once in a while via message, they let us know it. With 1:20 to go, Toth looks to throw into heavy traffic, and Garland makes the catch.
He's
still fighting, and a flag comes out, and he never went down. Wow.
Question is going to be, what is the flag on, and who is it on? It was right when he made the catch, and he was trying to get past the defender with broken tackle. Was there a face mask that we didn't see?
Let's see if
it was on Oldbridge.
Let's see if our view from up top gives us a better look.
Maybe helmet to helmet. I think that's what they
could be.
Yeah, I think that's what they. Yeah, it was helmet to helmet.
Good call, Nick.
Because I saw the referee point towards the tip of his hat, so so it was helmet to helmet.
First down and 10 for Edison, and we've seen that a couple of times now. Edison in a really tough spot. Oldbridge earlier with 2 neutral zone infractions, and now they commit a personal foul, which results in a 15-yard penalty and an Eagles first down. Time winding down in the half as well, just over a minute to go here in the second quarter. Wirtz was in the gun. He hands off. Whetstone breaks a tackle. Still going. And lowers his shoulder as he's pushed out. And there was some extra contact in the secondary when that play ended. And a Knight went down as well at the end of it. But another good run. And we've seen the ground game for the Eagles really begin to gain some ground, no pun intended, here in the second quarter.
Another good gain, and I mentioned it 2 drives ago where it had a really good drive going because of the run game, and it got stalled because of that fumble. Now another good run right there makes it second and short. Timeout was called on the field. Let's see who it's on. I want to say it's an official timeout.
Well, they have Edison on the board with 2 timeouts remaining. I'm not sure if we missed one, but
I don't remember them calling it.
I don't think they did. That had to be an Edison timeout, unless the injured player, and indeed it is the injured player who is still down. Now, when that play ended, Jason Benford got rolled up on from behind. One of the Eagles either tripped and landed on the back of his legs or was blocked into him and rolled over from behind. And those are dangerous. When you don't see one of those big bodies coming from behind and they roll over your legs, that could be very, very problematic.
I think that's number 20 that's being taken off. I saw him go down.
Well, that's Jason Benford.
Okay. So I might have the wrong. Or am I looking at. Nope, I had the right rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a different 20 on mine.
Interesting. You got that roster today?
I got that from Dave today.
You know what? This might be last week's. So you probably have the right roster. If you got that today, you have the right roster. I do not. I'm pretty sure I opened this from a recent email. Either way, we have 2 different rosters. We'll have to reconcile that. 2nd and 2. 49 seconds to go in the half. Wirtz looking to his right, throwing, end zone, tight coverage, picked off! And it will be Knights football off the turnover. Brody Nugent with the interception in the end zone. He made like a wideout, making that grab over his shoulder.
Well, Joe, what can he do for this Oldbridge team? A big interception. It looked like they were going for a fade route right here on that right sideline, and it was just perfectly played by Nugent defensively. He got good positioning. The ball was a little bit overthrown, it looked like, and Nugent gets the easy INT. But keep in mind, Old Bridge is going to be set up, it looks like at around the 1 yard line, maybe 2 yard line.
Oh, he didn't make the pick in the end zone.
Yeah, he did not get into the end zone for the interception. So it's not the greatest thing for Edison, but with Old Bridge backed up into their own territory, Edison could potentially, if they still have, if they had the 3 timeouts, they'd still have a chance to get the ball back. I'm not so certain they would get it back. They could, unless they force a safety, of course.
That's really big, Nick, that his momentum took him from the 1 through the end zone, and they marked him down there because all of a sudden, if you're Edison, maybe a chance for 2 points here. And that makes it a touchdown game without the need for a conversion. Nugent will keep, and he was able to find a bit of room, but only got back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe they gave him a couple. Our perspective.
Looks like they gave him 2 yards.
Yeah, our perspective makes it really tough to gauge how much he picked up, but it is officially a gain of 2. 2nd down and 8 coming up, and that might do it for the half, Nick.
Yeah, that might be the last play. So Edison did take a timeout at some point during this first half.
Are you a bit surprised they didn't take one there?
Did they just call it
Oh,
now?
they just did.
Now that I'm perplexed by, because why wait all that time and then call it?
I don't know. I don't know. Old Bridge will talk this over on the sideline. I think, Nick, getting a look at where they are spotted.
Looks like they're at the
4?
Yeah.
You could kneel it twice safely from the 4.
Yeah.
And they only have 1 timeout, so you'll be okay.
Right.
As long as you don't botch the snap, a pair of knees would take us to halftime. So looking back at this first half, Nick, what are your big takeaways? Huge play by Edison early, and since that time, the Knights defense has been every bit as impressive as we've seen them now for the last season plus. Offensively, Old Bridge continuing to do enough and not to be lost in how good the defense has been. This Knights offense is explosive as well. They've made some really big plays.
Yeah, I'll make my point in just a moment. We're going to have 3rd down, or 2nd down, excuse me, right here.
Nugent will keep it again, and Nugent is
Still
finally
up.
brought down.
Gotta be careful with that. I don't want to lose the football.
I would probably not call another timeout here and give Nugent another chance.
I think they just called the timeout.
All right.
It's at the end of the half. That looks like
Well,
timeout was called by Edison.
Yeah, they called timeout. They signaled timeout.
Yeah. So going back to your original point and question, I think the takeaways I have from the first half, if you go by Old Bridge's stance, they've taken advantage of the turnovers that Edison's had in this game. You mentioned the explosiveness of this offense. Nugent had a passing touchdown. He's been very effective in the running game as well. Chase Rizzo has also been very effective in the running game as well towards in the second quarter. But on the other side of things for this Edison team, other than that second touchdown drive for Old Bridge, they had done a pretty good job against the run so far here tonight. The difference of this game right now is that right now for Edison, they've had a couple drives where they've gotten into enemy territory, but they haven't been able to get any points on those drives. We had the missed snap fumble, the missed timing where they were looking for a neutral zone infraction. Of course, they're now trying to figure out what can they do in the second half. You're going to be down going in the second half, and you don't have the football to start the half as well.
Well, Nugent will line up in the gun here. They'll probably hand this one off, and they will. It's Griffin Nugent on the carry, and he is brought down after a short gain on 1st and 10. So that will bring us to halftime. Our score at the break, the Old Bridge High School Knights 14 and the Edison High School Eagles 6. A message from our sponsors will open our halftime break, and when we come back, Nick and I will take a look back at half number 1 and give you our analysis of the first 24 minutes. We then look ahead to half number 2 when we come back here on the PDF Sports Network.
You gotta check out All American Ford.
All American Ford is #1.
All American Ford in Old Bridge is proudly family owned and operated, and we're the #1 Ford dealership in New Jersey.
All American Ford is the tri-state area's giant auto group. They always have the largest selection, and it's not even close. All American Ford is currently offering APR financing as low as 0%, low monthly lease specials, and thousands off MSRP.
Giant selection,
giant savings.
Go G-Men, and go All American Ford.
Shop online at allamericanfordandoldbridge.com.
Getting a home loan shouldn't feel like an obstacle course. At CMG Home Loans, getting a loan is simple. Our loan officers are here for you every step of the way. With over 2,000 five-star reviews, when you're ready to buy or refi, we'll work together to find the loan you need for the home you love. CMG Home Loans. Simplified, trusted, committed.
Celebrating 65 years, the Old Bridge Rebels Youth Organization is the longest-running and most successful youth organization, serving Old Bridge Township. The Rebels are the premier football and cheer organization with a long and rich history in coaching and developing our community's future leaders. Through proper guidance and leadership, the Rebels program assists the youth in developing the qualities of safe play, discipline, teamwork, fundamentals, and well-being. We will continue to focus on these goals while maintaining a strong presence in the community. Check us out at swsrebels.org.
This football season, stop by Market Boy Liquors, your hometown destination for over 20 years. Family-owned and operated, our 8,000-square-foot store features the largest beer cooler in the area, plus an unbeatable selection of wine, spirits, cigars, and craft beer. Conveniently located at 1132 Englishtown Road, Old Bridge, New Jersey, 08857, Market Boy Liquors is proud to serve our community with the best variety and friendly service. Call us today at 732-251-4616 and make Market Boy your game day headquarters.
When it comes to buying and selling a home, do it with Peter Hunt's home team, powered by Century 21. For years, Peter has dedicated his life to the real estate industry, offering help and care to all of his clients. With experience and proven results, Peter is an award-winning realtor and the top producer for Century 21 Action Plus. A resident of Old Bridge, put Peter to work at selling your home or finding the home of your dreams. Call 1-800-299-2129 or reach Peter directly at 9086-014-934.
For raising the standard in facility services and commercial cleaning look to Pritchard Industries. For over 35 years, our commitment to creating clean, healthy, and safe environments is unwavering, ensuring that your facility not only looks pristine, but also promotes well-being and productivity so your business can excel. Specializing in comprehensive commercial cleaning solutions, advanced facility services, responsible sustainable practices, and innovative technology, contact us now at pritchardindustries.com. Pritchard Industries, here for you.
You gotta check out All American Ford.
All American Ford is number one.
All American Ford in Old Bridge is proudly family owned and operated, and we're the #1 Ford dealership in New Jersey.
All American Ford is the tri-state area's giant auto group. They always have the largest selection, and it's not even close. All American Ford is currently offering APR financing as low as 0%, low monthly lease specials, and thousands off MSRP.
Giant selection,
giant savings.
Go G-Men, and go All American Ford.
Shop online at allamericanfordandoldbridge.com.
Getting a home loan shouldn't feel like an obstacle course. At CMG Home Loans, getting a loan is simple. Our loan officers are here for you every step of the way. With over 2,000 five-star reviews, when you're ready to buy or refi, we'll work together to find the loan you need for the home you love. CMG Home Loans. Simplified, trusted, committed.
Since 2003, Elite Sports Physical Therapy of Morganville has developed customized care and physical therapy programs for thousands of athletes through evaluation and setting athletic goals. Whether a torn ACL, dislocated shoulder, or concussion is keeping you on the sidelines, our highly trained physical therapists can help you recover and return to the field or court in better shape than ever before. Come see what we are all about. Visit us at EliteSPT.com or call us today to book a consultation.
At Bagel Boy Bagel Shop in Old Bridge, we're more than just bagels. Come visit us at 2329 County Road 516, where we bake our bagels and bread fresh daily, have the freshest fruit and veggie platters, and an assortment of sandwiches and plates that are sure to satisfy. Bagel Boy is a proud sponsor of all things Old Bridge. Go Knights and go to Bagel Boy. 2329 County Road 516 and at bagelboyonline.com.
Old Bridge students, take advantage of the Old Bridge special at Bagel Boy. 10% off all purchases with your valid student ID.
Protect your family, pets, and your wallet with Anchor Pest Control. We provide coverage for all your pest removal needs, and our all-inclusive service saves you money. We've designed our services to be both comprehensive and budget-friendly for homeowners. Plus, with our premium service, you'll get a free mosquito application. See how Anchor stacks up against the competition. Visit us, anchorpestcontrol.net, or call 888-623-2847 for information and service.
Joe Foreman and Nicholas Pavona back with you here on the PDF Sports Network. And we are at halftime here in Edison, New Jersey. Our score at the break in this high school football matchup, the Old Bridge High School Knights 14 and the Edison High School Eagles 6. And Nick, our discussion regarding this game and what transpired in the first half began as the first half was coming to a close. But if you take a look at how this game started, you couldn't have felt much better about the start you got off to if you're Edison. One play, touchdown, and a big blow dealt early in this one. Then your defense comes out and immediately gets your offense the football right back. It seems like after that, not much really went their way. They turned it over, the Knights capitalized, and before you knew it, Old Bridge was in front by 8. They scored the final 14 points in that half. However, a late hold by Edison did prevent the Knights from doing further damage, and we head to the third quarter with Old Bridge receiving the football, leading by 8.
I think the common trend we've seen so far, Joe, is missed chances for both sides. On Old Bridge's side, they've had a bunch of drops in the receiving core that's cost them a couple of drives where, if you look at it, they probably could be up multiple possessions right now in this game and could have a really good sizable lead here at halftime with the football to start the half. On the other side, thanks for Edison, they've had some good drives as well, including that one where they were down by a point. They were going down the field, running the football very good, and then they were looking for a neutral zone infraction once again on the Old Bridge defense. It wasn't called. That led to confusion on the offensive line, leading to a false snap, leading to a turnover, and leading Old Bridge to going up 14-6 before the first half, around 5-minute mark of that first half in the second quarter. So it's been missed chances for both sides. And now if you're Edison, you come into the second half, you're down by 8. It's really big now that your defense comes out here in the second half, gets a good, strong start, make sure that Old Bridge doesn't come out here, gets a touchdown to put them up 2 possessions. But, of course, Joe, they need to figure things out on the offensive side. As you mentioned, they haven't done really anything since that first play touchdown.
I think what stood out to me in that first half, and you touched on it, big plays that were made and the big plays that weren't made. You mentioned some drops, especially on the Old Bridge side, that could have gone for some really big gains. This could easily be a 2 or a 3-score game if a couple of those receptions are made along the way in that first half. But if you're Edison, the opportunities for big plays really weren't there for much of the half. However, you have to like what you did on the ground late in that first half. They really began to run the ball well. I think for them the key is going to be finishing drives. Once you get the ball in Old Bridge territory, what are you going to do with it? We've already seen they had a turnover on the punt where they didn't get the kickoff. Old Bridge gets the ball inside the 30, and then later they had a fumble. Or I should say Old Bridge had a fumble, but Edison, when they've gotten the ball down the Old Bridge side of the field, it's been problematic. It was Edison that threw the interception once they got down around the goal line. Right. Old Bridge, we mentioned plays that weren't made. A fumble on a short, quick pass over the middle. It seemed like a routine play. They coughed it up, and that cut short a drive that could have went for points. So for both sides, big plays that were made, more of those coming on the Old Bridge side of things, and then for both sides, big plays that either weren't made or that ended in turnovers.
Yeah, and now I think if you're obviously this team, Joe, you want to fix that in the second half, trying to avoid those mistakes that you've made in the first half, whether it be the drops, whether it be the turnovers that you've had so far. But we've seen these defenses come out to play here tonight. Both of these defenses have put out a really good showing. Other than, if you think about it for Edison's, point of stance, both of their touchdowns allowed were because they were backed in on their own side of the field after a turnover led Old Bridge to have good field positioning. So if you're Edison, you can't really be too upset with what's happened so far in the first half defensively. But, of course, you would like to fix some of the mistakes you've had defensively in terms of trying to avoid Brody Nugent making and creating plays with his legs and finding an open receiver down the field. Because, as I mentioned, he's had a bunch of those in this first half. The problem is for Old Bridge, they haven't been able to catch the football so far, and that's cost them a couple of those big plays.
And going back to another play that came late in that first half that I think at the time for both of us was a bit perplexing. Old Bridge deciding to throw it up on a 4th down and about 11. I think it was 4th and 11.
Yeah.
They looked to throw and effectively ran 4 streaks down the field. They had Nugent in a position where he could punt. I'm assuming he was given the choice. He elected to throw it. That gave Edison the football in great starting field position, and were it not for the INT they threw, they could have potentially cut the lead to less than the 8 points, whether it be tying the game, getting within 2, or even chipping away with a field goal. I think it was early enough in the game where they would have considered a kick had they gotten close but not had a chance to pick up a first down. So it opened the door for this game to get a bit closer. Right now, if you're Old Bridge, you have the cushion of knowing that a touchdown cannot beat you. Even if they convert for 2, a touchdown cannot beat you. That could have changed if Edison turned that drive into points. And Old Bridge setting them up with a turnover on downs, going for it on 4th and long, looking to throw instead of punting. That put a lot on that defense. And once again for the Knights, the defense came through.
Yeah, and now I think as we see Edison come to their sideline, I think what's going to be the strategy for Old Bridge to start the second half, Joe? Because we know them as a good running team, and they've had a couple of good runs in this first half, but we've seen them also throw the football tonight a lot more than they did in week 1 and a lot more than they did last season as well in that game against Edison. So do they try to go out into the second half trying to throw the football a lot more in the second half, try to exploit maybe the secondary of Edison? or do they just stick to their gun and just keep going with the running game? And if it ain't broke, then don't fix it.
I think if you're Edison, you really have to like what you did on the ground late in the half. I've hammered that point home as we have about 1:40 to go before the start of the third quarter. I think if they can find their footing in the passing game just enough to keep this defense honest, that completely changes the complexion of this game, because right now, if you're Old Bridge coming into the second half, you have to be saying to yourself, well, they ran the football pretty well. We can probably afford to stack the box and challenge them to beat us in the passing game. If Edison can't do that, then Old Bridge should have the ability to coast to the win in this one. However, if they do dare Edison to pass and they are able to do so effectively, then all of a sudden we have ourselves a game, because Edison's defense in this game has done a pretty good job against an Old Bridge offense that has shown some explosive playmaking ability. Last week, 21 points. This week, 14 at halftime. And really, Nick, this game looks a lot like last week's game did at the break, and Old Bridge was able to secure the win in that matchup. So we'll see if they can do that again here tonight. What does Old Bridge need to do to close this one out? What's priority number one?
Priority number one is, of course, catching the football and making sure you don't turn it over. I think the priority right now is that you've had good yardage offensively in this game, but they haven't gotten enough capitalization in this game. A couple of big drops. Of course, that fumble they had as well early on their first drive. So they've had these drives that have worked out for them, but they haven't been able to finish the drive. And that is always what really irks, whether you're an offensive coordinator, a head coach, or even a quarterback. It irks you that you get good drives and you don't finish with points at the end of the drive. So I think the most important for Old Bridge, come out here in the second half, make sure you at least get some type of points on this drive and put yourself in a two-possession lead with Edison getting the ball back afterwards.
That's a great point you make, Nick. Coaches definitely are driven crazy when you put yourself in position to score and come away with no points. And we've seen that on more than one occasion in this game from both teams. Old Bridge crossing midfield, fumbled the football. Edison working toward the red zone. They throw the pick in the end zone. And you said it at the time, but what doesn't Brody Nugent do for this team? He can punt, he can throw, he can run, and he plays defensive back. So there's really not much that they can't rely upon him to do when he's out there on the field, be it on offense or on defense. And as we mentioned before, it will be the Old Bridge offense getting set to take the field. We'll see if perhaps Edison may look to kick it short again or go with some trickery here on the kickoff, because I'm not exactly sure what the intent was when they kicked it short earlier in the game.
Yeah, I'm curious how they would start it. Would they maybe start with a surprise onside? I would have put it out of, question maybe that they could do that to start the second half.
Well, let's see what they do here, as Edison will kick it away to begin the third quarter. Our score at the start of the third, the Knights 14 and the Eagles 6. And they will send it deep here. That kick received by Xavier Diaz, and he has some good blocking in front of him, pulling tacklers forward, and he's finally brought down at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like for a second Diaz was going to break that one off for a big-time return. Does get a good return nonetheless on that one, but was brought down from behind and around, it looks like the 39-yard line. That's where Old Bridge is going to start this first possession of the second half.
It's always tough to gauge exactly how good the blocking is when a return man is accelerating up the field into a mass of bodies, but when you're able to emerge through the pile, seemingly untouched, you know the blockers did their job, and it looked like they certainly did that on that last kick return. Empty backfield here for Brody Nugent. Watch for the motion out of the slot. That's Rizzo nearest to the line of scrimmage, and they'll throw him a quick pass. And he's finally brought down after a gain of about 5 on first down. And Nick, that was a really tight window that Brody Nugent threw into there.
It was very quick of a pass, too. That's one of those where you make that initial read and you know you're throwing the ball there. Even pre-snap, you know exactly where the ball is going. He had to make a quick decision, make a quick throw, and as you mentioned, a tight window, but he got there for a 5-yard pickup.
There's one more look at that last quick throw as Nugent receives instruction from his sideline. Once again, an empty backfield for the Knights. 3 receivers to the near side. Nugent looking left, throws downfield. Olsbrook is open, and he makes the catch. Nobody will track him down as Olsbrook is in for the Knights touchdown.
Number 2 on the night for him. And Joe, how about this again for this Old Bridge team? They had their first touchdown of the first half. 2 plays for the touchdown. Once again to Olsbrook. At this time in the second half, 2 plays for the score, and what a start for the Knights.
We said it coming into the second half. The story of this game, big plays that have been made, and some of the big plays that have not been made. Olsbrook made no mistake there. Nugent drops a dime over the top of the Eagles' defense, and we said it entering this quarter as well, Nick. This Knights defense has been great, but don't sleep on the explosiveness of this Old Bridge offense. They deliver a big touchdown pass there, and the extra point is up and good. Old Bridge in front, 21-6.
And I think, it's something that I mentioned earlier on too, Joe, where I was curious to see what Old Bridge's mentality and what their strategy was in the second half is going to be offensively. Because as we saw last week, they ran the football very effectively to the point where they did not have to throw the football whatsoever. Nugent has been very pass-heavy in this game. He's had a couple runs, don't get me wrong, but he's been very pass-heavy in this one. His second long touchdown pass of the night, once again to Olsbrook, and once again for a now touchdown to put them now up by 15.
And that's another good point you make there, Nick. Last week, they were very run-heavy in the game against Cedar Creek. They showed the ability to pass it when needed, but a couple of their big plays in that game came as the result of a run after the catch. We didn't see anything quite like this, where they were able to throw over the top of the defense, and you don't often get chances over the top of the defense with that much room in the secondary. Olsbrook all alone, completely burning his man over the top for the touchdown, and those are openings that get your eyes wide as a quarterback. You see that, and you know that you have to deliver in that spot,
right.
And Brody Nugent's certainly capable of making those throws without issue.
And this is why you have the strategy of throwing the ball, Joe, because even though they've had the drops in this game, Old Bridge has gotten a lot of open receivers, so they're very, they're not opposed to throwing the ball whatsoever.
Davis Jones on the return here, has good blocking. He's working toward the sideline, still going, and finally brought down at midfield. Dion Davis Jones with a big run back on the kickoff, and with that, Edison is set up at the Old Bridge 49-yard line.
Well, you got the sense there, Joe, that Edison needed some kind of spark to get this this stadium back into this game. Now down by 15, a nice return, got past midfield. It looks like he's just at the Old Bridge 49-yard line to start the first possession of this second half now for Edison. And Joe, we saw how they started this game with a trick play touchdown. Do they try some trickery here to start the second half as well?
Well, I think what that return does for you is it allows you the option to keep the ball on the ground and pound the rock, because I think if you end up backed up inside your own 20, the temptation is to try and air it out and get within a score quickly. And Old Bridge,
they're going to lose some yards
as we
there,
suspected, Nick, I don't think the Knights are going to let them run the football. They think they've recovered a fumble, and the whistle is blowing. That is not a fumble. 3-yard loss on the play.
Yeah, and we knew that Old Bridge's defensive strategy was going to be try to stop the run, because that was a backbreaker for them in the first half. They really struggled, it looks like, for the most part of that half, stopping the run, and they did it immediately right there on that outside handoff. Loss of about, it looks like maybe 3 yards, maybe 4 on the play, but a good start defensively for this Knights defense here in this second half. It's now 2nd and long.
Well, a hole to work out of here for Edison offensively. The good news is they still have good field position. You'd hate to squander it here as they toss it in the backfield. That play doesn't go very far. Perhaps they got back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe just short of it.
I think they're just a yard shy of it, so it's going to be 3rd and about 11.
3rd and long here, and if you're Edison, I think you'd have to pick up maybe 5 or 6 to think about it.
I think they're going to go screen pass here, Joe, to the running back. That's what I think is going to be the play here.
Now, do you think Old Bridge is on high alert for that after the play early in the game? Do you think there's a chance for it to work?
I think they're going to be on high alert regardless. If it doesn't go towards the running back, look towards maybe Garland, who's been very active in the receiving game, to be the guy they go to on this play.
It's a shotgun set. or perhaps a pistol. Looks like a pistol set, in fact. They'll fake the handoff. Toth rolling to his right, throws into heavy coverage, and nobody home there. That could have ended far worse than that. Now, was anyone on that Knights defense fooled by the play fake?
Not really. I think they were expecting some type of a trick play, whether that be play action or not. And initially, I thought maybe they would go towards a screen on that play to try to get the yardage and at least make it a fourth and more manageable where you could go for it. Now on 4th and long, you're at the 49. I would be inclined that they're probably going to punt the ball.
You
here.
have to.
I don't think you can. You can't really go for it in the spot.
I think you have to punt here. It's 4th and 11. Toth is back there to punt. And he's looking to throw. It's complete. Man open. And that is going to go for a first down and more. Big hurdle on the play by Robert Roma. And Nick, if you're Old Bridge, that is far too easy.
Put that one on a highlight reel for Roma right there. And you said it. You know, you had Toth back there as the punter. He's seen a couple punts away from him. Quick throw to the outside. Found Roma. Got away from one tackle. Look at the hurdle right there to get the first down, get some extra yardage. And a big play to once again bring up some life into this crowd here at Edison.
And they had a chance to get him. Didn't see who it was that had the opportunity for Old Bridge there, but making that man miss is what afforded Roma the first down. And now the Eagles are in business. 8:41 to go, third quarter. And they will hand off on first down. Not much room there for Dudley. Official timeout called here.
Player's helmet came off.
Looks like no gain on that play. Give him one.
Second and 8.
Officially a 2nd and 8. They just get more and more generous as we go, Nick.
Get those extra yardage as they go with the inside handoff to Garland here.
And Garland finds an opening and picks up a few on that play. Looks like he got 3 or 4.
Well, I mentioned you got to throw sometimes those weird plays when you're set up in the offensive style. We've seen Garland a bunch of times tonight set up in the backfield, even though he's listed as a wide receiver on this team. And he's had a couple carries in this game. Nice gain right there. Makes it 3rd and a manageable 5 yards here for Edison, and what more than likely is going to be 4-down territory.
Unless you take a huge loss here, and even if you do, I think you're going for it no matter what. It's a pistol set once again. Toth in at quarterback. He's looking to throw. Fires left, incomplete. Really tight window along the sideline. He was looking for Garland. Good coverage on that play by number 42, Tommy Kassoff.
Yeah, good coverage right there. A tight window, as you mentioned. And Garland almost got the catch. I don't know if it maybe he just got a mishandling
Too much
of
traffic,
the catch.
and it was tight.
Yeah.
The coverage was tight.
Plus, exactly where you were on the field as well. You're also trying to think about trying to get your feet in bounds, and not an easy play for Garland there. It's now 4th and 5. And, Joe, we've already seen once in this game they got a first down via neutral zone infraction. If you're Old Bridge, you cannot afford another one right here.
7:20 to go. They hand it off on 4th, and absolutely no running room afforded by the Knights. And once again, the Old Bridge defense finds a way off the field with Edison possessing the ball in Knights territory.
And I'm not sure, Joe, if there was maybe some confusion on that play. It looked like maybe a counter type of run right there that was called by this Edison offense, but it was not fooled whatsoever, that being the Knights defense. They read it perfectly. It looks like they got a loss on the play regardless. It's a 4th down, turnover on downs, and we'll now have the Knights offense coming back to the field.
Well, as the Knights offense makes their way back onto the field in the midst of this change of possession, we'd once again like to thank our proud sponsor, the Candied Ham Softball Program. They are a proud sponsor of Old Bridge Knights High School football. Check them out at CandiedHam_official. As the Knights' first down carry goes nowhere, but once again, a thank you to Candied Ham Softball, not football, Nick. They are a proud sponsor of Old Bridge Knights High School football. As during that play, which I thought was going to be preceded by a lengthy timeout for the T-shirt toss, they proceeded with the T-shirt toss.
Yes.
And there were T-shirts landing all around us. You and I ducking and dodging, bobbing and weaving, but the kids loving the T-shirt toss.
Who doesn't love a free T-shirt?
Those are some small T-shirts. Those are kid sizes.
Yeah.
It's 2nd and 12 here for the Knights. Low snap. Nugent throws downfield. Rizzo complete. Rizzo with running room to the 40,
He's
the
gone,
30, the 20, 10.
He fumbled.
And he lost the football.
I think
wow.
Recovered by Old Bridge. They did.
What backside pursuit just to catch him.
I thought for sure he was gone. That's a commentator's jinx on me, but
you jinxed him big
absolutely
time, Nick. That is on you.
That's 100%. With the burst that he's had all night running, I thought for sure he was gone. You have to commend the play right there to force the fumble, but keep in mind that was recovered by Old Bridge, so they do keep the ball right there. Mercado, it looks like, was the one that recovered it. He saved another turnover.
Jordan Mercado saving the Knights from a turnover. And another number 4, Lanier Whetstone, punched that football out. He came from the near side, got there, and jarred the football loose. And this carry will go nowhere on first down.
It's Griffin Nugent on the carry right there.
Second down and about 12 coming up here, but Nick, we've spoken about it already, the big plays that have been made. It looked like that was one of them. It almost turned into yet another miscue and a big play that wasn't.
It got almost to the point where I think the Old Bridge faithful would have advocated for me to get off the call. Didn't get recovered.
Rizzo, I thought for sure was gone as well. As Nugent fakes the handoff there, keeps it, carries, and he's in for 6 more. Brody Nugent.
He's certainly gone.
He is gone. You are not going to catch him as he accelerates through the hole. And Old Bridge extends their lead to 21 points. They now lead it 27-6.
It's just so tough, Joe, with the amount of playmakers that are on this team, being anyone in this New Jersey division, where you're trying to stop this offense. And you saw Rizzo with a big run earlier. Allsburg had himself a touchdown earlier in this half. And Nugent just using his legs once again to create a play, gets the touchdown with ease to put his team now up by 3 possessions here in this third quarter.
Extra point up and good for Brody Nugent. Or I should say for Michael Fioretto. It is Nugent with the touchdown. Now we're having an audio issue, Nick. I've lost audio in my headset.
Yeah,
we are still good on the air. I have no idea what's been going on with our audio in the headsets for you and I, but we've had an issue with it throughout the night. Trying to figure out exactly why, but it has been a problem. And right now, I do not have any volume in my headset. It's coming and going, it seems.
Yeah, it's been going on and off.
Now, I know you are not a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles, but this chant from the Edison varsity cheerleaders is very reminiscent of a chant that I know you're not a fan
I don't
of.
know what you get. I don't know what you're talking about, Joe. Not familiar with it.
They were a few syllables short of E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles.
Oh, okay. It's weird because I went to a high school this team name was the Eagles too, so it always felt weird saying, let's go Eagles, and I'm like, I kind of don't like a team that's named the Eagles
That is true.
too.
That is true.
It's tough. It's tough.
You're an alum of St. Peter's High School.
Yep.
At least you had a majestic bird. Where I came from at Staten Island Technical High School, we were the Seagulls. Not very majestic.
So you had a seagull as the logo too?
That was the mascot.
That was the mascot?
The Seagulls, yeah. The MSIT Seagulls.
Interesting.
I think it was the Seagulls anyway.
You're just taking a guess.
Man, look it up for me, Nick. As we have another nice return here
got
for
some
the
room on the
Eagles
outside.
with blocking ahead along the sideline. And finally wrestled out of bounds was the return man. That's number 9. Well, at least I thought it was number 9. That is not who was announced as the return man, Nick. They announced number 8, Darren Torado. I thought that was number 9, so perhaps I was mistaken. They would know better than me. Are we the Seagulls? We are. All right, I'm vindicated.
It's not a bad looking logo.
It is a nice logo. That was not the logo when I was there.
Okay, so they rebranded it somewhat.
Yes, definitely rebranded.
Got it.
They returfed, rebranded. That building looks a lot different from when I was roaming the halls 15 years ago. Hard to believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
First down, Edison in good field position once again. They line up in the pistol and will hand off on first down. Whetstone up the middle. And he does not have much. And Nick, here in the second half, there just haven't been holes in the running game.
Yeah, just similar, not what happened the first half. We saw a lot of holes being made by this offensive line, but this Old Bridge defense has done a good job of now clogging that lane and making sure that there's not any running room. And now they're starting to win, as I like the term, the battle in the trenches here to start the second half.
I think if you're Old Bridge, the objective in the second half was to force Edison to throw on third down and then fourth down if it gets that far. Don't allow them to hand it off on first and second and pick up big chunks of yardage. And this Eagles offense leaning so heavily on the running game during the first drive of this third quarter that they ran it on fourth down. And it was a 4th and 5.
Yeah.
They line up in the pistol once again here. Second down and about 8.
Pressure once again. Toth lays it out.
Nearly picked.
Oh. Toth had the wherewithal to at least extend the play. He was in a lot of pressure in the backfield, but threw into double coverage and almost got intercepted on that one. Thankfully for his team, that was not the case. It's now 3rd and about 8.
Well, I think it goes without saying the rest of the way it's going to be 4-down territory for Edison on this side of the 50 as we have a player down. Can't get a look at who it is from our perspective. Eagles will huddle up along their sideline, and I think it's now or never, Nick. If you don't come away with points on this drive, I think this game's gotten out of reach, and we saw it last year in a game that was mostly controlled by Old Bridge, that early on they were able to remain within striking distance, them being the Eagles. But as the game went on, Old Bridge really began to find their rhythm offensively. And once that happened, there was really no slowing them down. And this game has played out a lot like that.
Yeah, and it was one where the Edison offense, started to get a little bit more of a rhythm in the second half. That first half, they got on some good drives against the Knights defense. But as I mentioned, they had a couple of plays where 4th down conversions, they tried to go for it in Knights territory, weren't able to get it, and that put them in a spot where they were already down 7, then they went down 14, and then it got to a 21-point lead at halftime. So that game got away from them early in that one. They still lost, I believe 31-13 was the final on that one, and now they're in a position here where 3rd and 8, they can really use it.
Toth looking to throw, rolling right, throws to a wide open receiver along the sideline. That's complete for a first down and more. Pivoting and turning upfield following that reception was Robert Roma. Another big play for Roma. And that is a first down the Eagles had to have.
Yeah, and good job by Toth once again, Joe. He extended the play, made sure to get enough time to find that open receiver, and you mentioned it. He was wide open on towards that Old Bridge sideline, gets the first down, and gives his team now a chance as they're inside the red zone.
You score here and convert, I think you're right back in it, Nick. Your defense early in this game, especially in the first half, showed they are capable of stringing together some stops. They nearly forced the turnover in this third quarter, but they have to find a way to plug the leaks in the secondary. A lot of big plays for Old Bridge. Adding up here as they'll try and set up a screen, and they won't get a throw off. Down goes Toth. He had nowhere to go with the football and couldn't throw it away either. There was no receiver for him to throw that ball in the direction of, and that is a big, big loss on first down.
Yeah, it's a huge one right there, Joe, because it looked like the initial read was going towards the running back. He held it, then looked towards the middle of the field, held it again, and then He got brought down for a huge loss. Looks like he lost 15 on the play, and it's second and very long.
Here's another look. You know what? I don't think they were setting up a screen, Nick. I think they just got run through by the defensive line of Old Bridge, for lack of a better term. Really tough to tell from our lower perspective, but it did look like the play ended with 3 men on the line as Toth throws into traffic, and that one is off the helmet of Deion Davis-Jones. 3rd and 25 coming up.
Well, of course, Joe, on 3rd and 25, you would love to get a first down this play, but I think the goal for Edison is you got to get at least half of these yards, or at least something, to where 4th down could be more manageable for you to try to extend this drive.
I think the bind you're in now is that you backed up so far that you're not really going to have much leeway to get into field goal range without picking up a first down. Maybe if you get 10, 15, you're in that safe field goal range and can kick it. But does a kick really do you much good? Probably not. It makes it a 19-point game. And
I don't think it does.
I think if you get to within that range, you probably go for it. As Toth will look to throw here, and he sends that one over the head of his intended target, Roma.
And Roma's now limping, hobbling towards the sideline.
What do you do here, Nick? I think you have to punt it.
Yeah, I don't know. 4th and 25. I think – I don't know, Joe. I think they might go for it.
I think there's a chance.
I think it's one of those where even if you were to turn the ball over, it's basically somewhat a punt.
I think you have a better chance of scoring on the back of your defense than you do converting a 4th and 25. That's my logic. So if I have a better chance to score on defense, I'm trying to pin the back. But there's only 2:05 remaining here in the 3rd, and time is slipping away quickly. It looks like they're going to go, though. Toth looking to throw, pressure coming. He airs it out up the field, complete. But, Nick, that's not even close.
Yeah, I mean, he just didn't have enough time in the pocket, Joe. It was pretty much an all-out blitz right there from the Knights' defense. They gave him no time to make a read down the field. He had to throw it up immediately, and he got the completion, but as you mentioned, nowhere near the first down marker, and it's another turnover on downs for this Edison offense.
I think you know that you're probably going to face pressure in that spot. The defense doesn't want to allow you the time to throw it down the field. Knowing that, I think it lends itself even more to punting. But you're in a really impossible position there, trailing now by 22, having to make that call. And the way that the Old Bridge offense has been able to exploit the secondary here in the second half, maybe that's on your mind as well when you make that decision.
Yeah. And now Edison, I mean, you're at the spot where you're down 22. There's a minute 59 to go in the 3rd quarter. A quick stop would do you a lot of, would definitely help you right now. But you got to believe that Old Bridge is going to try to milk some clock here on this drive and try to put this game on ice.
Running room for Rizzo here. He's still going, and he has a first down. Tackled at the Old Bridge 36-yard line. And if Rizzo can continue to pile up big gains on the ground like that and pick up chunks on early downs, it's going to be tough just to get the football back if you're Edison, because here in the second half, Old Bridge has really done a lot well. I think the lone blemish was the fumble, and they didn't lose that fumble. So I think that helps erase it from memory just a bit more. Low snap, handled by Nugent, and he airs it out downfield again. Open man, and it is dropped by Chiarella. And, Nick, that's his second big drop in this game.
Yeah, and another one where Nugent put it right on the money. He had his receiver, it hit his hands, and this got to be one that's got to be caught. We saw last night in the NFL game that played a big factor. A couple big drops, and that one cost the Cowboys. And thankfully for the Knights, it hasn't cost them this game.
Last night was a night to forget for CeeDee Lamb.
Yes. Those games are always weird for me because there's always a winner, and I can't tell if I would rather have the Eagles win or the Cowboys win.
Yeah, it's tough as a Giants fan.
It's never easy to figure out which one would be worse.
Allsbrook in motion pre-snap, but a flag comes out from the secondary.
Probably going to be a false start on the offense.
Back up Old Bridge 5 yards here, 2nd and 15. Well, the good news, Nick, is that since about midway through the second quarter, our internet has not faltered. That's a first.
Let's keep it that way.
For this facility. We've probably broadcasted from here at least 5 or 6 times, and the internet just struggles, even with a 4 or 5 bar hotspot connection. It is an uphill battle.
It has certainly been a trooper tonight. It's made its way all the way here to the third quarter.
They'll send Alsbrook in motion again and hand off to him. No running room, and he's met by 5, maybe 6 Eagles before he's driven backwards.
Trying to get that little jet sweep play type. And just nothing there. Lost a couple yardage. And third and very long out coming here for the Knights.
Well, if you're Old Bridge, you've done a lot well here in the second half. But again, a big drop, potentially taking points off the board. I think this game, when they look back on it, it's going to be a mixed bag. It looks like they will win this one. They may even win it decisively as Old Bridge takes a timeout. But I think even if you win this game by 4 scores or perhaps more, you're going to look back at this one as the Knights coaching staff and ask yourself what could have been, because I think if you look at the plays that haven't been made by Old Bridge tonight, combined with the plays they have made, you can fairly make the case they should be ahead by 4 or 5 scores.
Yeah, you certainly could make that case. We saw a drop touchdown in the end zone. We saw a drop fourth and very long. And there's just been a couple drops
a drop
in this
on
game.
this drive.
A drop in this drive as well.
A
That's
drop
true.
on a swing pass that would have went for a big gain.
Yep.
The fumble.
Yeah. And almost another fumble, too, on the Rizzo play as well. But I think despite that all happening, to be up by this many points and having a chance, if you are able to convert this third and long, maybe extend the drive and get more points, you're definitely upset that you couldn't have gotten more points earlier in this game, but you have to be very excited with what you've done here in the second half so far.
3rd and 16. We have it at 3rd and 17. Nugent, clean pocket, steps forward, throws short, and I think Alsbrook reeled that in. No, he did not. Thought maybe he pulled it in with one hand, lost it on the way down. 4th down coming up. Well, the good news, if you're Edison there, is that a couple of the plays on that drive went for incomplete passes. So effectively, Old Bridge only took about 1:20 off the clock. And even 40 seconds on the clock here in the third quarter. Nugent not in as the punter this time. Once again, it is Tomas Santos. At least he was back there. There he is.
Yeah, they had to get an extra man out there on the punt. They had just 10 men.
Well, that's not good.
No.
Blocked kick for 6. It turns this game around pretty quickly. And
I think they got a delay game. So I think of was a lot of time taken in between.
The officials discuss it and we wait.
Although it would be pretty more decisive if it was delay a game, so maybe that wasn't the call.
Sometimes if there isn't a play clock on the field, you get extra grace. And we saw an instance.
It's a neutral zone on Edison.
4th and 12 now. We saw an instance last week where there was a clock issue and both sidelines not happy. Eventually it was sorted out. It took some time, but they figured things out. Santos has it. Another high kick up into the lights. And it takes a good Knights bounce right at midfield. It rolls all the way down toward the 30-yard line. And it is touchdown at the 31.
Yeah, I almost lost that one for a second.
I did lose it. I found it again, but I lost it first.
Well, so another beats football on Friday night lights, as they like to call it. Always a good spectacle to see a night game for football. And good crowd here in Edison for this contest between these two teams.
If it wasn't now or never on the last drive for Edison, I think now is that time, Nick. They need points. 28 seconds to go here in the third quarter. And if they're going to have any chance, they have to score on this drive. Toth in the gun. Trips to his left. He will look to throw. He fires left side, incomplete. And a flag comes out. Knights might have gotten there early.
I would tend to agree. I think that is going to be the call. Usually we see that in the secondary. There's a deep pass interference on the Knights defense.
There's one more look at it, and I think they got that one right.
24 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
24 seconds remaining in the quarter. The ball is spotted at the Eagles' 47-yard line, so that's a good start to the drive. You'll take that. I didn't think they threw that far down the field, Nick. They started at the 31. That was a 16-yard pass.
They gave it
it's a 15-yard penalty
15-yard
regardless?
penalty, yeah.
Wow. Low snap there. And not much running room on that play.
Yeah, it wasn't a spot foul, so they gave it the 15-yarder on that one.
Michael Florentino got that last carry.
That'll be the last play of the third quarter.
It will be a 2nd down and 10 when we begin the fourth. Our score through 3, Old Bridge 28, Edison 6. And Nick, we will stay right here at the end of 3 from Edison. A lot of good for Old Bridge in this game. Let's talk a bit about that. What has really impressed you about this Knights' performance tonight?
You have to really like what they've done defensively here in the second half. First half, not that their defense was bad in the first half. There were a couple running plays where they allowed some open holes to get Edison some big rushing yards, excuse me. Their second half defense has been impeccable to the point where they haven't been able to run the football, that being Edison, so they forced them to throw the football, and they really haven't been able to throw the football effectively, unfortunately, that being for the Eagles. So Old Bridge defensively has done a great job in the second half of exploiting that. Meanwhile, on the offensive side of things, they really opened up the passing game to an extent here in the second half. 2 plays into the half, they got a touchdown pass. Nugent got a rushing touchdown as well to extend this lead to where it's currently at. So we've seen a bunch of what Old Bridge has been doing best this last year and a half. You know, defense has been playing good. Nugent making plays with his legs, and Nugent having that arm capability to make big plays down the field and getting his team a chance to win these games.
Whistle blows, and both teams head back out onto the field. We have a bit of a sing-along here at Edison. Not exactly
not your crowd.
My choice of music. No, I have to admit, I couldn't tell you the name of this song, but I can tell you it's
I've heard this song so many times that I don't even know.
Come on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? Is that what he says?
Yes.
That song. All right, start of the fourth from Edison. It's a handoff up the middle, and cut down low was the ball carrier. That was Florentino again. He was upended after a gain of about 7. Third and 3 here. Clock winding down toward 11 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter.
Of course, it'll be 4-down territory no matter what for Edison.
And they keep it on the ground. Florentino, no running room. He stopped at the line of scrimmage. This play, if they're going to have a shot, it's effectively the game here. There's a 4th and 3. And this Knights defense, at times, they've bent, but with the exception of one play, they have not broken.
And one play, of course, being the first play of the game. Ever since then, this Knights defense has really adjusted to what Edison has brought to the table.
The look to throw on fourth. Toth in trouble, breaks away from one tackler, throws in the grasp of another, and completes for a first down.
I am very shocked that he was able to get that pass off, Joe. He was under so much duress, and he somehow got the throw, and not only that, as you mentioned, he got the first down too.
Well, he broke a tackle and then throws this one from within the grasp. That's a really impressive play by the Edison signal caller.
Timeout is called, as I think they're going to have the substitution for a helmet change.
Toth, a 6', 195-pound junior, by no means an easy tackle in the offensive backfield. I don't think I reached 195 pounds until I was at least 30 years old. I was nowhere near that in high school. As they look to run, there's a nice gain for Florentino on the ground.
Looks like he is about it looks like about 3 yards away from the first down marker. Good run right there to start on that first down to make it second. It looks like about 2, so they gave him 8 on the play.
They're generous, Nick. You and I, not so much, apparently.
Sometimes we're strict.
We have to stick to our guns. We have 2nd and 3.
Yeah.
Edison has kept the ball almost exclusively on the ground here in the second half. And they'll do so again right here. Broken tackles. And I think a first down as well. Ahmad Dudley with a nice carry. 1st and 10.
I was going to say, it looked like Rios was the one that made that tackle. It was a hard-hitting tackle to stop the runner. But it is a first down regardless for the Eagles.
Under 9.5 to play. Edison continuing this drive. Ball at the Old Bridge 28-yard line. Empty backfield, or one man in the backfield, lost behind the Eagles bench as Old Bridge takes a timeout. Their second charge timeout of the half.
And, obviously, Joe, while Edison is driving the ball here, I think the one negative right now, of course, is the clock. They have 9 minutes left in this fourth quarter, and you're down 3 touchdowns. So you obviously are happy that you're moving the ball a little bit right now, but you got to find a way to get down the field quickly because there's not going to be enough time for them to get back into this game.
Well, looking at the play calling on this drive, Nick, keeping the ball on the ground as much as they have, I'm not sure this possession is as much about getting back in this game and chipping away at the deficit as it is establishing an identity for your football team early in the season and coming away from this one with some confidence, because they have run the ball well tonight overall. They've run the ball well. I think what's hurt them is that they've looked to feature the run so heavily that Old Bridge has decided you are not beating us on the ground. And they've still managed to find some holes, even with the Knights playing the defense with that mentality. But I think at this point in the game, Old Bridge is content to allow that. So you have to take what you see in terms of the ground game on this drive with a grain of salt. They'll look to throw here. Toth pump fakes, rolls to his right, running out of time, breaks away from one tackler, but goes down hard behind the line of scrimmage.
Almost got back to the original line of scrimmage. Looks like he lost 4 yards in the play.
2nd and 14 now.
That's been the story, too. When they try to throw the ball, that being Edison, these last couple of throws, they really haven't had enough time in the pocket.
Well, when you look at the pressure here, as soon as he steps up, there's just nowhere to go, and Dudley gets the carry there. It's a short gain.
Got back to the original line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 3rd and 10. Maybe 3rd and 11.
Now you're the generous one,
I
Nick.
was generous on that one.
3rd and 11. And I think that's something else that Old Bridge does really well, going back to that sack. They're very disciplined in their rushing lanes. They don't lose contain on the opposing quarterback very often. And if the quarterback steps up through the pocket, those interior linemen do a great job to make sure there's no running room as that pass is complete.
Ryan Toth's pass is complete to Robert Roma.
Roma with the reception.
Out of bounds.
Looks like he got about 7 on that play.
It looks like he got about half of that yardage back. So 4th and 5 coming up here for the Eagles, and it's pretty much the ball game right here, Joe.
Well, they've shown a bit more in the passing game here in the second half than they did in the first half. I think part of that has been out of necessity, but when given time, Toth has shown he can find open receivers and fit the ball into some tight windows. I think his best opportunity came on the run behind the line of scrimmage, airing it out down the field. Just didn't have enough arm to hit his man deep. That was earlier in the game. He'll look to throw here on 4th. He steps up, delivers downfield, incomplete. That one too high.
He took another shot too, Joe, in the backfield.
And Davis Jones, the intended receiver, and the Knights will take over. Here's one more look at that last play.
Toth, to his credit, has been the best night for this Edison offense, but Toth has still been able to stay into this game. He's taken a couple of big shots from this Knights defense, and that another turnover on downs will give Old Bridge the football back with 7:45 left as they'll look to run some of the ball right here, get some clock off, and try to get out of here with the win and go to 2-0.
Things looking good for Old Bridge in terms of a victory. I think at this point, it's probably all but a certainty, though you and I know better, right, Nick?
That's true.
I think the way the clock moves in the high school game, it is much more difficult to erase a multi-score deficit late in the game.
Yeah, especially with, no 2-minute warning as well. That won't stop the clock. And you, of course, have the 3 timeouts. And we always know how hard it is to even kick an onside kick. It's never the easiest thing. Even the pros struggle to kick onside kicks. So not an easy task whatsoever for any team, especially here late in this 4th quarter. Looks like time was once again called on the field.
There's a flag down.
Okay.
But when we cover the arena game, you have to advance the ball forward inside of 2 minutes if the clock does not run. You cannot kneel. There's also a 2-minute warning. So I think all of those aspects of the game not being present at the high school level makes those late game comebacks a lot more difficult than what we're typically used to covering here on PDF.
Well, we know how important the clock is in arena football. And if you want any indication, just watch that last Jersey Bearcats game that we covered.
That has to be one of the wildest finishes I've ever called to any game, any sport, at any level.
Especially the magnitude of the game, too, being a championship game. Yeah,
yep.
It just adds more to it.
We cover plenty here on the PDF Sports Network, including Jersey Bearcats Arena Football. Their season is over, but you can check out the AAL2 Championship right here on our YouTube channel at PDF Sportsnet. Also, we have the Vetera Liga tomorrow. The Maple League is the NFL of Finland. We have 2 games of Maple League coverage this weekend. We have Seinäjoki Crocodiles taking on the Kuopio Steelers and the Helsinki Roosters taking on the Porvoo Butchers. First of those 2 games will air tomorrow night. Video feed permitting. We're still working on that, but I think we're still set to go live tomorrow night. That game live on Boxcast. For those of you who may have been interested in our Old Bridge Knights Premium Pass, the internet here at Edison not suitable for a live stream via the Premium Pass. What we're going to do is upload our 1080p copy of the game to Boxcast tonight. Same goes for our YouTube audience. If you watch over on Boxcast, you can check us out ad-free. And of course, as always, you can watch completely free over on YouTube. However, there will be ads from YouTube over that broadcast. The only ads on Boxcast come from our sponsors. Sponsors of Old Bridge Knights football, that is.
Yes.
injured Eagle on the field ahead of what will be a 4th and 19. And this game sure has come to a screeching halt late. I think if you're Old Bridge, as I said before, this game will go down as a mixed bag. I think you did a lot of things really well, but when you're in practice during the upcoming week, you're going to put an emphasis on the plays that weren't made, and I think there were a lot of those that this team expected to make tonight, and it shouldn't take away from what is going to be a decisive win. However, I think it definitely warrants some attention.
Yeah, I mean, you always look to make statements with these type of games, Joe, of course, when you're trying to, of course, in a tight division where, last week we saw all teams, with the top 3 teams winning, going to 1-0. You try to make that statement and say to the other teams that are already 1-0 that we're the team to beat in that division. And Old Bridge on their way, it looks like, to be 2-0 now in the season with the game here tonight. And obviously, they've had a good dominating performance for the most part. It looks, obviously look at the scoreboard, but it could certainly be a lot more. It could be a lot better for this Old Bridge team. But a couple missed opportunities, as you mentioned, in the first half, and I think 1 or 2 here in the second half as well.
Knights getting set to punt it away here with just over 5 minutes to play. A lot of time has come off the clock here. They must have stopped it right after that last play concluded.
Yeah.
And I think, Nick, close to 40 seconds have come off the clock. They started running the clock at, I believe, 5:38. Didn't the clock stop at almost 5:30?
I thought so.
I thought so as well. The clock is still running.
And
I think they just realized it. I think a full minute came off there, Nick. That's the final timeout for Old Bridge.
Well, like I say, whenever we call these games, clock management, whether it be from the teams or the officials, is certainly one to watch.
Both teams will talk it over along their sideline, but Nick, you and I on the road again next week. Old Bridge at Piscataway. And you spoke about being the team to beat. We all know how important matchups like the game next week are when it comes down to the end of the season and you're vying for division, you're vying for playoff seeding. Our game next week definitely going to be a big one.
We already know Piscataway won last week, that being against Edison. I believe they are playing tonight, if I'm not mistaken, or tomorrow. Not sure. As there goes the punt.
A punt very nearly blocked, and a fair catch is made on the Old Bridge side of the 50. Here's one more look at how close that punt was to being contacted. It was very close. Special teams have had their fingerprints on this game tonight, specifically early on, with a muffed snap or a low snap, however you choose to describe it, on the Edison punt. And that set up the first Knights touchdown, and from there it's been all Old Bridge.
There was a flag, by the way, too, on the field, Joe. I think it was on
Nick,
Old Bridge.
They announced first down Old Bridge just now.
They ran to the punter.
It's a roughing, automatic first down.
You're right. You mentioned that it was almost blocked, and they did. And you're right, it was almost blocked. But at the other side of things, they ran into him.
Let's get a look. I didn't see that flag until it was announced.
Do we see it on the replay is the question.
We will.
Oh, yeah.
They ran into him, but is it roughing?
Yeah.
You think that's roughing?
I think it's running. I don't know if there was any extras after that play, but it was definitely running into the punter at least.
My understanding of the rule is that running into the plant leg or diving into the plant leg, automatic roughing. As they look to run here on first down, not much room there. Second coming up, but they did not contact the plant leg. They got the kicking leg.
Nice tackle in the backfield for Edison.
Now, you do PA for high school football, Nick? Is that continuing this year?
Don't know yet.
Don't know yet. When the home team makes a tackle, do you editorialize nice tackle or
No.
big hit? No, you don't. Just tackle.
I honestly just keep it
Simple, stupid.
I keep it simple. Just say first down, touchdowns. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Not try to make it any more difficult on myself by doing any extracurriculars like that.
Well, you have a lot of PA experience where you and I come from at the College of Staten Island.
Yep.
Season opener tomorrow for us. Another run for Old Bridge here, and nothing gained on second down.
Yeah. Yeah, very busy weekend for us. I have that tomorrow. Then I will be in the Meadowlands on Sunday for Jets season opener.
Question is, how full will the Meadowlands be? They've been begging me to buy season tickets.
I think it will be a good capacity because you got to keep in mind the Steelers travel well.
Yep.
Of course, obviously the storyline with Rodgers and Fields and everything. So I think it's going to be a very high capacity game for that one.
That is true. They did swap quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Though, would you consider it a swap if Russell Wilson's on the Giants? Are you happy about that?
I don't know yet. Ask me in 3 weeks.
Okay.
Because if not, then they'll just start Jackson
Is he starting in week 4?
If they start 0-3 now.
I don't think they'll start 0-3.
And I've been of that notion because if you start 0-3, then you're talking about head coaching getting fired. You need to get Jackson Dart in there to save your job. So that's why I feel like the earliest it could be is week 4.
Okay.
Hopefully they don't start 0-3 because I don't know if I can handle another 0-3 start.
Yeah, that'd be tough on the fans of Big Blue.
Tough schedule, though, this year, so it's not going to be easy.
Who do they have the first 3 weeks? I know they have Washington.
Washington. I know the Chiefs is week 3. I'm trying to remember the week 2 game.
Could be 0-3.
I don't think it's the Eagles, but I thought it was the Eagles.
Well, you have 2 games that they'll be heavily unfavored, though they seem to play Washington pretty close.
We always usually split with Washington. I think last year was the first year in a while where we didn't split with them.
They seem to play them pretty close.
Cowboys week 2, then Chiefs Chargers the first 4 games.
Ooh, that is tough.
We got the NFC North and the AFC West this year.
Well, I think my Raiders should present a favorable matchup for you. Now, are they in Vegas or at Giant Stadium?
I think it's in Vegas.
Vegas. I was going to say, if it's a Giant Stadium, I might have to get myself a seat.
Yeah, Vegas week 17.
Week 17.
Yep. Very late game.
And again, Santos went down.
They almost did it again. He kind of slid down almost to avoid the contact.
Honestly, Nick, our angle is not good, but I thought if there was going to be a roughing call, it might have been on that one.
Yeah.
Let's get a look.
I can't tell if he just fell down or he just slid to avoid the contact.
He fell on his own.
Yeah.
He tripped. Now, had he not tripped,
is that technically tripping, or did he?
No,
just,
he tripped on his own.
Oh, he did trip. Okay,
He lost the stability on his plant foot.
I didn't know if he was trying to avoid the contact by just fall into the ground.
Now, I'll tell you, if he didn't trip, there's a good chance he was going to be helped down to the turf again. So
and there's a good chance that Old Bridge's offense would still be on the field.
Yeah, definitely a chance. First down, Eagles. 2:29 to go. Rolling to his right, Wirtz, and
almost picked.
He was nearly picked. Second and 10 here for the Eagles. Now, do you think if you're a quarterback for Edison, Toth, or Wirtz tonight, is it possible to find a rhythm with the shuffling in and out of the game? Do you think it's something that when you game plan for in practice, you're mentally prepared, it doesn't really affect you? Do you see this often when you're covering high school football elsewhere?
No.
I haven't really seen it at all yet.
I will say 1 year, I want to say maybe it was 2 or 3 years ago, they did shuffle quarterbacks to where you had one quarterback be a scrambler.
There's a drop. I was about to say a big completion, but we've seen a lot of those tonight.
But going back to what I was saying, I saw one where the offense had a set quarterback that could throw the ball down the field and one quarterback that was set that could be a runner. It's a type of scrambler. So it depends on how you're trying to set up your offenses and what strategy you're going to in terms of your playbook. And it definitely can throw off your rhythm because, obviously the way this game started, Edison got the first play touchdown, and they had gotten some big plays on the ground when Wirtz was the quarterback. Not that he was the one making the plays in the backfield, but he was the quarterback when they were getting that yardage in the ground game. So it's a weird sequence to try to figure out exactly what works for you best.
And Wirtz lost the football as he tried to throw it. The Knights have it. And the Old Bridge defense has forced another turnover here in this fourth quarter. We'll see if perhaps the Knights take a knee and bring this game to its conclusion.
Well, with 2:10 left, they're gonna. There wouldn't be enough time.
You could take the knee if you move back a few steps, hold the ball. And take the knee.
Yeah.
You could do it. You could do it, and I think they will.
Hopefully they do.
I think.
I'd hate to see any extracurricular.
Yeah, that's it.
That, yeah.
You know, I think when you run plays late in a game like this, if you're trying to run up the score, that opens the door
keep
for
in mind,
unwanted.
I think a couple instances we did see Old Bridge do that last year.
Run up the score, did they?
I thought they ran some plays last year.
Well, you have to keep in mind if your points for and allowed do factor in come the postseason.
Yeah, tiebreakers are. Yeah, that's true.
So, in that regard, you'd be wise to try and score here. And I think with that in mind, I have to take back what I said. They probably do try and score here. They have 2 minutes.
They'll probably just run the ball. I don't think anything serious.
Some reserves in there. And they'll keep up the middle. That was a really good fake. I think that was Gavin Flynn. And it was. Just tough for us, Nick. We've had to peer through the Edison bench all night.
Yeah. And the spectators.
Well, the occasional spectator.
The occasional, not all.
Has chosen their standing room very poorly.
Yeah.
They'll hand off this time on 2nd and 8.
Well, Joe, I think let's look ahead to next week with that game against Piscataway. I mean, if you're looking at this at the Old Bridge side of things, you're going to go 2-0, and the biggest takeaway so far is that your defense has been playing so good throughout these first 2 games. Obviously, the offense played well tonight as well, but they're going to want to fix those mistakes going into that matchup with Piscataway next week. So, what exactly is Old Bridge looking to try to accomplish next week in terms of, do they try the same strategy they did tonight in terms of the passing game, or do they go back to the running game a little bit more next week?
Well, I think if you look at the game against Piscataway last year, it was a low-scoring game. You and I had that one, and there were, I believe, 2 kicks returned in that game for touchdowns by Piscataway. Now, was that the low-scoring game? I'd have to go back and look at my notes.
I don't think it was that one because I remember.
Yeah, there were 2 kick returns. It wasn't low-scoring.
I remember there was the 2 kick returns. It wasn't there a fumble on a snap for Old Bridge that cost them the game?
I think they gave up a touchdown on special teams as well, or at least.
Or it went into the end zone for a safety.
It set up a touchdown.
Right. It was either a safety or it set up a touchdown.
Yeah, I had that in my notes for next week.
As you mentioned, we cover so many games. You try to remember. Remember which.
I would say,
memory.
Moving forward, the rest of the year, I'll probably be covering 3 or 4 games on average per week.
They're going for a field goal here, Joe.
It's a long one. Fioretto.
He's got the leg for it, but that one.
Yeah, that's short and I think a bit wide.
That's the last play of the
game. And that will do it. That is our final play of the game as the Knights attempt a field goal on the game's last play, but though they missed it, it does not put a damper on what was another dominant effort for this Knights squad against this Edison Eagles team. The Knights win it 28-6. They improved 2-0. They look to make it 3 straight next week on the road against Piscataway.
And the Knights bringing in a very good fundamental, what they've started so far this season, Joe, on both sides of the ball. Offense has looked great outside of those couple drops in this game and the couple fumbles. They looked pretty good offensively tonight, but their defense has been the big story so far in the season. After that first play touchdown that kicked off tonight's contest, they dominated pretty much straight from there forward. Probably the only thing they have to worry about is their rush defense. The rush defense was a little bit shaky in the first half. They improved it in the second half, but that's something to keep make a note of going into next week's matchup with Piscataway. Can their rush defense play a full 4 quarters good defensively to get them the victory to go 3-0?
I think if you're going to have a shot against this Old Bridge defense, you have to be a well-balanced offense. You cannot allow them to stack the box against you, and you can't allow this pass rush to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. We saw throughout this game tonight that when they get in, pressure bursts pipes. It made it really tough on this Edison passing game. And then, of course, when you become one-dimensional, you're not going to be able to run the ball against this Knights defense. The special teams unit did their job forcing a turnover early. They were helped by the poor snap. And once again, the offense does enough alongside a very strong performance from the Edison defense. I think the lone blemishes in this game, Nick, are the big plays that were not made. Most of those came in the form of drops, very easily correctable. And if they do manage to correct those miscues entering next week, we could be looking at a 3-0 start for the Knights.
And that's what it's perfectly what you just said right there. It's drops are easy fixes. That could easily be fixed for your team. So if you're Old Bridge, definitely, you're definitely thinking about those drops and what could have been for those drives, but those are stuff that you can fix going into next week and make sure that your offense scores more points than they did tonight. And despite the fact that they had all those drops, Joe, they still put up 28 points, which is nothing to be ashamed of.
An impressive showing for the Old Bridge High School Knights on the road for the second straight week. They defeat Edison by a score of 28-6. We are on the road next week in Piscataway. Once again, it will be Joe Foreman, myself, alongside Nick Bavona on the call. But until then, have a good night, everybody. Thank you again for watching. The Knights win it 28-6. They start 2-0. We'll see you back here on PDF next week as the Knights head to Piscataway.